That's the way, I like it,
Hello. Good morning, Eta. Congrats on being the first today. Alright, I think I'm just gonna start. Alright, we are back with some more PoE story modes. We're starting Act 8. I did do Cruel Lab and Merciless Lab off-stream, because a lot of the lore objects are going to be the exact same as they are in Normal Lab, which we've already done. So I didn't want to repeat all of that when we're trying to focus on the story. But as a result, my character is now significantly stronger.
and not before.
Also, I need to make a correction. I did something stupid last stream, I think. I had Hex Touch linked to a curse and golems, but it doesn't work on minions. So now I'm manually casting LA Weakness. Although for the majority of the stream, I did have it on Orb of Storms, I think. Which does work. But it's just that I was also trying to do it on golems, and those don't work with Hex Touch. Anyway, let's head towards the Sarn encampment, where we're going to meet Sin. I believe we're now in pursuit of the final member of the trio, Duedra Darktongue. We've already killed Chevron and Maligaro again. But Duedra has headed in this direction. So I made some minor modifications to the build. We now have Culling Strike linked to 3 different golems. Also, I did actually take the golem node. So we can have 4 golems now. Alright, Sarn is looking pretty green.
Foulest thaumaturgy hangs in the air. I approve.
Good to see you in Sarn once again. I wish that we could be greeting under fairer skies, yet this city remains clouded in strife.
Cloud Strife? Final Fantasy VII reference?
Eternal goddess of the moon and her sister Solaris of the sun have risen to reclaim what was once their own. Siblings equal in strength, mighty twin rivers converging, sweeping all before them. We are cornered animals, awaiting the deluge that will surely drown us. Yet there exists a pair of ancient treasures, the sun orb and the moon orb. They are our hope, our desperation.
Alright, so we're gonna steal some orbs from Lunaris and Solaris.
Good to see you're still soldiering on. With all these gods and past horrors wandering around Sarn, I don't assume anyone's alive and kicking these days.
Let's ask them about Solaris and Lunaris.
Needing my eclectic expertise again, are we? Solaris and Lunaris got front and centre stage among them folks at the Eternal Empire. Solaris was thought to be the light of leadership, guiding and enlightening each emperor that sat the throne. In practice, most of them emperors turned out to be a bit dim. But then history and theology have never quite seen eye to eye. As for Lunaris, a goddess of the moon and earth, the mother of dreams and inspiration. Doesn't sound like a bad lady until you consider that dreams harbour nightmares and that inspiration is just one notion shy of insanity. Bring me back something nice, huh?
Alright, let's talk to Sin as well.
Dodry Darktongue is the insidious infection that threatens to make septic the great and terrible wound that is Sarn. However, any certainty that I had as to her exact whereabouts has been sundered by the sheer stench of her presence. We shall have to deduce her location from those who know the area best. These locals that cling to Sarn like hungry maggots.
Wow. Sin's kind of rude. He just called the townspeople maggots. Or compared them to maggots, rather.
Sarn is changing, and so are we who live here. There, Tolman. Don't you worry. I love you. I'll think of something.
Tolman's gone. Where's Grigor?
My heart aches for Grigor. I know the battle in which he's engaged. It's like my own. A fight to make sense of life in a land that deems life to be worthless. I don't know where he's gone, but I do know he's looking to find himself. His true self. As we all must do in our own time.
Huh. I wonder if Grigor is actually somewhere as a hostile NPC now, and that I just never noticed him. Because this is the first time I noticed that he's no longer in Sarn.
If Sarn wasn't mad enough, now we've got some whip-tongued hag cooking up a stinking curse in the sewers. Took it from her mother-in-law at first. But no, based on my meagre historical knowledge, I reckon we have a certain Dodry Darktongue to contend with. Where in blazes is she hiding? I've no idea. So, the only way we're going to catch this witch is by getting our hands, and possibly a lot more, well and truly dirty. And by we, I mean you, of course. The sewers are no place for a simple businessman like me. Do us a favour. Head into them sewers and track that old hag down. Get her to reveal herself, and put her down. Ha! Better your eyes than mine, eh?
Alright.
Bring me back something nice, huh?
I'm gonna ask Hargan also about Grigor.
Grigor left without a single word to me, rude bugger. But I suspect his poetic soul has been drawn back home to Izmir.
Hey, Elite Largo.
A long journey, but a trip worth taking to find solace among one's own people. Of course, they'll get quite the shock when they see him. Let's hope familial love is as nearsighted as they say. There are the fine tales Grigor will be able to tell them, of course. Come to think of it, now that Dominus has been knocked off his perch, there's nothing to stop the Izamites from learning a thing or two from Grigor's stories. They might even consider invading this jewel and raid-class tarnished crown. I certainly hope they have just such an eye for opportunity. A man could make a tidy sum helping said invaders navigate Sarn and its many hazards.
Interesting, so Hargan thinks that Grigor has gone home to Izmir, where the Ezamites live. I actually don't know if we ever interact with Ezomir in this game. At least not directly. I don't think so. Anyway, let's head into the toxic conduits and look for a Dweudra.
When I'm ready, and not before.
I think I'll just leave this breach and focus on the story. Sorry, Alva. We don't have time for incursions right now. I wonder if I have enough mana for Arctic Armor, actually. Ooh, that's tight. Yeah, I don't think so. Well, that's not enough mana. We would barely be able to cast a single spark with that.
Hurry! There are monsters about!
You don't say, Rog. I think in the story, this is one of my favorite acts for just how quickly you get levels and or skill points, especially. It feels very satisfying with very high mob density. But I don't really know how story dense it is. We'll see. Now that we're actually paying attention to it. Alright, we found a suspicious looking sewer grate. Let's jump in. Fill the cauldron. And there's Dweudra with a wingsuit, somehow. I mean, I guess she's been punctured. She was pretty bloated before.
I hate to repeatedly torture a fellow witch, but you brought this on yourself, Dodri.
And now she has a lot of loose skin, which functions as a wingsuit.
Once more into the breach, and once more we return victorious. Although I have to admit, I did not relish the sensation of imbibing that foul witch's soul. I felt decidedly unclean. Still, our journey nears completion. To the north lies Highgate, and the cessation of our efforts to extract the dark ember from my dearly departed beast. And none too soon. Every hour, Katava's strength grows, and the longer he and the other gods dwell on this land, the less is humanity's chance of survival.
Yeah, let's take out some more gods. So we have two options here. From this waypoint, we can go down or up. First, let's head back to town and talk to Hargan and Maramoa.
These owl eyes of mine have been watching the sun goddess from afar. The sun orb lies within her temple, guarded by her most ardent devotee, an exile who, in his insanity, has taken to calling himself the Dawn. That orb is the seed that must be stolen from this new son of hers and planted at the feet of his ancient mother. I've been keeping a close eye on that exile-turned-sycophant who calls himself the Dusk. Dusk carried the moon orb into the Linares Temple and has not returned with it, not as far as I have seen. No doubt he clings to that orb like it's his adopted mother's own nurturing breast. If you were to wean him from the teat and place that orb at the bereft mother's feet, we may yet see the moon itself fall.
So,
Well.
both of the goddesses have had their orbs taken away by crazy exiles to their respective temples.
You'd suppose someone as crafty as Dodri would have kept her ugly head under wraps as soon as she saw you coming. I guess death robs us of many things, including our common sense. In any case, thank you. The sewers can run clear now that there's no fetid witch clogging up the pipes. Here, have a little something to commemorate your fine clean-up job. Tell me something. Any chance you might be willing to join forces and turn a healthy profit with old Argon? You ever heard of the Wings of Visteri? Not just another damned artifact. This one was the highest symbol of the Office of the Meraketh, held by the Sechima of Sechimas. History books will say the wings were last worn by Sechima Asenath, the Golden Sechima, the one who went and got herself murdered by Hector Tatusius. The only problem is that Tatusius himself is up and guarding his pretties once more. Still, if you can recover those wings of Asteri, then I'm confident I can sell them back to the Meraketh for a fair sum. They're a cultural icon after all, dripping with sentimental value. What do you say?
Sure.
Bring me back something nice, huh?
We're gonna acquire the artifact from the bathhouse, the Wings of Asteri.
What's up?
Let's ask him about Hector Tatusius as well.
What little humanity General Tatusius was born with, he traded in for strength. Went as far as to have Malachi replace his joints with virtue gems. Mad bastard. Afterwards, Emperor Chittus charged Tatusius with subduing the Meraketh. A job he took a little too much pleasure in, if you ask me.
So we have another
Good luck
imbued
to you.
character. Replaced his joints with virtue gems. Alright, let's head through the sewers. I'm gonna go north first. I think that's probably the most comfy route. In my experience, at least. Because there's one really large and annoying zone on the opposite side that you can completely skip if you go north instead.
When I'm ready, and not before.
I'm gonna hug the southern end of this dock. And eventually I'm gonna run into Clarissa. But first, we come across a sealed casket. And find the Ankh of Eternity. We find the resurrection sites. So, Clarissa wants to resurrect Tolman using this Ankh of Eternity artifact.
Give it to me quickly. Finally, Tolman. We can be together as before. All right, let's begin. Suffering will besiege us, and yet love will prevail. Pain will imprison us, and yet love will prevail. Grief will engulf us, and yet love will prevail. Death will surely take us, and love will... No. This isn't right. This is... Oh, Tolman, please. Forgive me. Exile, look out!
Oh no. The ritual didn't go too well.
How could I have been so stupid? Russo didn't hide the Yunk out of shame. He hid it out of fear. Out of... Oh my. What did the Yunk really do to his wife? Everything I saw, that I read, lies to cover the truth of what Kiara had really become. All right. I'll destroy the Yunk. We've come a long way since Russo's day, so I'm thinking I can manage where he so sorely failed. At least that's something I know I can do right. I'll meet you back at the encampment soon. For now, I need to... Look, I'll just see you there. I promise.
I feel like we probably could have talked...
Kept him how he was. I would have.
We probably could have talked to Clarissa before finding the Ankh and gotten some additional background. But I missed that this time around. Oh well.
When I'm ready, and not before.
It's another case where I just came across the object without actually having the quest beforehand. But that's usually how I do this process, because I know exactly where to go. Unfortunately, that meant I missed a part of the story here. But at least it wasn't the main story, just a side quest. Alright, let's head back to town and talk to people. See, this act is really quick, usually. I usually just do the full circle before even going to town, and then get all the quests handed in, but now I'm gonna try to actually talk to people between each step.
I was out hunting food for our encampment. Like a prowling cat I was, but what I saw, marching across the ruins, made me feel like a little mouse. Gem-studded warriors pounding the earth, led by their strongest, a captain. I've known of these Gemling legionnaires, how they were once the personal swords of Emperor Chittis. But now they rise again, with this captain at their fore. Swallowing my fear, I followed the captain and found a force being gathered within the Grain Gate. Exile, I know it's not fair for me to ask. You have done so many things for us. But if you were to find the captain and slay him and his men, I would honor you greatly. Our little town would not survive an onslaught such as the captain is likely to enact upon us.
Alright, we've been tasked with defeating the Gemling legionnaires.
They walked our earth in the times of great strife, cruel and hideous shadows cast against the clay wall of ruined abode. Thaumaturge Malachi grew them out of the vain ambitions of his dark imaginings. Emperor Chittis believed the legionnaires belonged to him, that Gemling men would beat to the drum of his own crystalline heart. But as the silhouette of the Emperor faltered and fell, burned out by the light of true men, some of the Legion remained. The cataclysm turned Legionnaire into monster, another mindless man of undeath. Yet this captain seems to have regained his faculties, some of his old warrior intelligence. I worry for the rest of his soldiers, how they may grow from mindless killing machines into something far worse. Goodbye.
All right. Clarissa.
Poor Tolman. He was never really with me, was he? Just the shell of a man I loved. Wherever he is now, I hope he is at peace and that he can forgive me for not being able to let go. Here, take something, for at least helping me. And thank you for everything. See you. Yes?
We could ask about Emperor Varuso, because apparently that's who hid the Ankh.
By all accounts, Tarkus Varuso was a ruthless despot, a man to rival even the likes of Dominus. Yet his heart of stone contained one precious theme, his love for his wife, Kiara. So when the poor young woman died giving birth to Varuso's son, the grieving emperor threw aside his great convictions and placed his last hope in thaumaturgy, in the Ankh of eternity. Perhaps it was shame that drove Tarkus to lock the Ankh away, to steal such hopes from his descendants. It was he who had asked his people to turn their backs on the ancient arts, so what right had he to enjoy that which he forbade? Love gave him that right.
Yeah, so that dialogue was supposed to... We were supposed to hear that before we did the whole resurrection ritual with Tolman. Because she commented that it wasn't shame. Alright, let's go find the Gemling Legionnaires and the Grain Gates.
Run through your tunnels, ugly little rat. Pick up your scraps. Beware of the cat.
Ah, we're delirious.
Life is too precious to waste on you. When I'm ready, and not before.
Like I commented yesterday, I hope we get to see many more Delirium mirrors, because they have some of the best one-liner voice lines. And a lot of them are references to other NPC voice lines, but twisted in a dark way. Alright, I think we're coming upon the Gemling Legion over here. There they are. Instantly.
Still following orders after 3 centuries. I really must create some gemlings of my own.
I one-shot them. Okay.
Captain Osiris. Remain in the warehouse until I personally send for you. In the unlikely event that Chittus should fall, you and your fellow legionnaires will be safely beyond the perimeter of his heart gem's influence. You men and women are my finest work yet. I would not lose you all to some aberration of chance. Malachi, Thaumaturge Laureate.
Good stuff. We actually had some more voice-acted Malachi action. Love that. Bonk, indeed. Hey, Gadden. Good morning. Knife. Nice. We get the breath of lightning. Don't know why I went for the there. Probably because of the TH and breath. Knife. Shocks you inflict spread to other enemies. Oh. Maybe we'll go Lightning Mastery here. I'll try to explore the Imperial Fields
and not before.
a little bit more than I usually do. But first, let's take the waypoint back home. Or, not home, but back to Sarn. And see what they have to say about recent events.
My courageous hawk removes yet another snake from the long grass. I offer you a reward, but my mind remains unsettled. The captain lies rotting in the ground, buzzing with flies. But if Gemling legionnaires can regain their sentience, then can all the monstrosities of the Undying do the same? My thoughts turn to the burrows and chambers beneath the earth of Sarn. Could there be some new, undead civilization growing and preparing itself underground at this very moment? Such thoughts do not make for easy sleeping.
Wow, that's a scary thought.
Talakota, go with courage.
That would just make life complicated.
Need something?
She doesn't have anything new to say.
Hello.
Neither does Hargan. Okay. Sure, I'm gonna go with that shock spreading thing for now. I'll completely redo the tree once I'm in maps, but that's a subject for after these videos. Effigy of Fair. I always found the Imperial Fields to be a bit of an empty zone. There might be some lore objects lying around though. It is literally just a wide open field with monsters and a few ruins. Didn't actually find anything. Alright, we head into Solar's Temple.
When I'm ready, and not before.
I haven't completed any new quests, so I don't think I want to go back to town right now. We're gonna look for the sun orb in here. Although I might be heading in the wrong direction. I don't know if this is gonna take me outside or downward. Oh, this is the correct way. Not really seeing any lore objects lying around this place, unfortunately. Okay, we're back to the waypoint where we found Diala in Act 3. But it's been destroyed. And obviously Diala's no longer here. And this door that used to lead to the map device has been closed off. Let's head through the portal. There's Dawn, our crazy exile that took the sun orb. Mine now.
I will soon take this power for my own.
Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? She probably just wants to eat the sun orb. I noticed that the witch has been making a lot of comments about wanting to taste and eat stuff throughout the campaign.
That would just make life complicated.
Greetings.
You looking sharp?
There's actually no new dialogue yet. Okay. Wait. Tolman is on the map. I guess he's in a coffin, maybe? I don't see it. Or maybe he's in the sewers. Or the sewage water. Could also just be a bug. I really don't see Tolman, even though he's supposed to be here. Maybe he was there before the resurrection ritual and I just never noticed him. That's also a possibility. I need to go south. I think this might be the path. Yeah. Most likely. Nope, never mind, that's a dead end. I guess we head back east past the waypoint and then south. Down from here. And there's a tree in here. I've always found this interesting. There's just a platform with a tree that you can flame dash onto. You need a movement skill to get up here. But there's really nothing here to interact with. And no description or information about why there's a tree in the middle. Alright, we are headed to the Solaris Concourse.
ready, exile? It is time to hunt!
Oh, hi, Einar.
That was a great hunt, exile. Einar will write a mighty poem about it.
There's so many things to fight here. I'm gonna cross the harbor bridge. And this is where Lunaris and Solaris are currently located, but we need both orbs in order to access them. They are inside the Sky Shrine.
When I'm ready, and not before.
There's another lightning node over here. Could go for that. Or this. I probably want to take Elemental Overload on this build. I'm kind of wishing I'd pathed differently, though. I don't know, we'll do some life nodes for now. I'm feeling a little squishy despite having almost 3k health. I don't really have a lot of mitigation. Once again, I'm noticing that they didn't really add a lot of new lore objects to the...
I preferred the old look.
to the repeated areas that we already did in part 1. So I'm mostly just running from objective to objective here.
Hey, you there. Yeah, you, fishy fella.
Hey, you. Hey, Dark Matter 2. Hope you're well. Hope everyone is well, indeed.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Alright, we're heading into the basement of Lunara's temple. It looks very different this time around. This used to be filled with blood, and now it looks like it's mostly water. But it's a bit dark. It's kind of hard to see where I'm supposed to go with all these breach walls obscuring everything. Alright, we found it. And another portal leading on to Dusk's room. This is where we fought Piety in Act 3.
Lunaris, your secrets will soon be mine.
We could actually end this act right here by heading straight for Lunaris and Solaris. But we want to do the side content as well. So let's go back to Lunaris Concourse and head south. Well, it's not really side content. I mean the optional quests. There's the Wings of Vestiri, and also another god to defeat.
When I'm ready, and not before.
I think once I find the waypoint in here, I'm gonna go back to town and ask Sin, or see if Sin mentions Yugal, because we wanna see if there's dialogue related to that before actually encountering him. There's Titicus, or Titusius, rather. I always called him Titicus. Hey, spread your better. Back to PoE. Yeah, for a while at least. Flame Dash. Alright, I'm gonna look for the waypoint. Am I doing the Steam achievement for all the lore? No, I've done that years ago. I'm just doing, I'm just trying to understand the story personally. Paying more attention to the story. I never actually did that when I did the achievement, because that was more like a checklist where I needed to do everything in a specific order, and I didn't really pay attention to the dialogue. Just clicked through it.
You found them! No easy feat, I bet. How's old Hector these days? Not so good after you cross paths with them, am I right? I'll polish these wings up and get them back to their owners, just as soon as my Mariketh friend can get her folks to pay the ransom. Price, I mean.
The ransom.
In the meantime, take a little something from my stock as payment.
We have the orbs of the sun and moon.
Powerful baubles, them orbs are. As old as Mirians themselves, maybe even older. I've read all there is on them little beauties. The sun orb's said to contain all that has been, while its sister, the moon orb, holds all that will be, past and future, packed up neat behind glass and thaumaturgy. Shudder to think what might happen if all that got out one day.
Wow.
Bring me back something nice, eh?
You tried to do that once, made it to Act 7, then messed up, never tried again. Yeah, it's... I think I also messed up at least once when I did it, but yeah, it's a never again kind of deal. Basically just followed a spreadsheet and did everything step by step. A single mess up would mean that you had to start over. It's such a pain.
In Azara's grotesque little garden, you'll find an old friend of mine. The yawning maw that is Yugal. But a self-portrait of what that pathetic creature has come to believe about the nature of fear. Those who look upon him see their own fears reflected in his horrifying visage.
Cool. Yugal. So, one interesting thing about that is... Oh, we can't see it right now, but Yugal actually reduces reflection damage. I'm finding myself kind of interested in what you're doing. I didn't know this about myself.
Hello. Vaal scholars seem compelled to answer all manner of strange and troubling questions. Ugol was one such scholar. Whilst plumbing the depths of humanity, he came to believe that there was no truer expression of humanity than pure terror. He would induce terror in children, and then capture their reactions within eldritch mirrors, devices of his own creation that could petrify fear for extended study. Through his gallery of reflected terror, Ugol came to understand human nature so well that he was able to manipulate his way into the Vaal halls of leadership, and eventually grew so feared and renowned that he ascended into godhood.
Wow, a true dictator. We can ask him about the sun and the moon as well.
If we are to see the dawn of a new era for humankind, the sun must be taught to behave herself. Upon that mighty span between Saan's left hand and its right, Solaris burns to consume every single moment of existence. Sparing no thought for life and its needs, she would see the world parched barren before she yields to reason. The sun must be allowed to set, so that it may rise again as a blessing, not a curse. We approach the zenith of our divine hunt, upon the bridge that chokes the great wet throat of Saan. Lunaris, in her cold fury, has forgotten that the warming sun of morning is as life-giving as the cooling damp of evening. The empire Lunaris dreams of shall be lit by moon and twinkling stars, and life itself shall wither away in that perpetual night. Self-loving Solaris, all the light in the world, yet blinded by her own pride. Not once did she pause to question the truth of her sister's betrayal. Instead, she gloated over her sister's transgressions, proclaiming herself greater and more honorable than Lunaris could ever be. I suppose one shouldn't be surprised when a sun deity takes the higher ground. One of two sisters who ruled the most populous and powerful of the ancient Asmerian tribes. Solaris was thought to guide the sun across the sky with threads of shimmering gold, whilst Lunaris saw to the wax and wane of moon with a sickle of purest silver. It was a peaceful partnership, until the trickster Tang Mazu happened upon their domain, and turning sister against sister, he saw to the massacre of thousands, whilst concealing the source of their futile feud beyond all reckoning. Feel no pity for the moon. She is a cold and distant fool, far less radiant than she would suppose.
Wow. Okay, so
Remember, humanity needs...
They were only in conflict because of a trickster. They got tricked. There's also a lab trial in here, but since this is a second character, we don't need to do that. Let's head towards Ugol. Wait, this isn't the way to Ugol, actually. Was there... There's no lore object next to Titushus. Yeah, no. There's not.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Right, we're heading into the High Gardens, which is, which belonged to Emperor Izaro himself. There's a lot of porcupines here, taking a lot of hits when they explode. I don't actually know what I want right now. Could just start working towards lightning node. It's not really gonna matter. We have more than enough damage to finish the campaign. I'm gonna have to watch the VOD for the earlier lore. Yeah, I'm doing this for YouTube videos as well, so there's gonna be one video for each act. But those will still be a few weeks off, I think, because I have some other scheduled videos still. Bugle, Reflection of Terror. I will do that for PoE 2 as well, but I'm still not playing PoE 2 until it's out of early access. I haven't even touched it yet. I look forward to it though. It's gonna be great. I hear the campaign is pretty good in that one. You made it to level 40 and said, no, this isn't even close to being done. Yeah.
Bugle!
It probably needs some time in the oven, but it's going to be worth the wait.
In death, the mirrors are thus shattered. Bugle was a cautionary tale. The only way to truly understand fear is to become it.
I like the taste of this divine spark. Smooth and flavored with fear.
There she goes, commenting on wanting to taste or eat something again. She's a really hungry hippo.
So it was that bloody scholar after all, was it? Sick bastard. Well, he's gone now, and I hope you made sure he suffered like those poor kiddies he tormented. I'd have toasted him nice and slow like a spitted pig. See how he'd like them apples stuffed in his mouth. Here, have something for keeping us safe from the divine undesirables of this world. Don't do anything I would.
Let me clear my inventory before I continue.
Watch yourself.
I love this new identify button, but I keep forgetting about it as well.
Bye.
Bye. Alright, all that remains now is to do the final boss of this act. Lunaris and Solaris. This is the first league in a long time I've played. The new trading vendor is awesome. Yeah. Asynchronous trade is incredible. Can't believe it took this long for them to do it though. This should have just been how trading was done in the first place.
When I'm ready and not before.
It was really just a stubborn old vision of Chris Wilson, I guess, that kept this from happening sooner. Alright. We arrive at the Sky Shrine. There they are, the sisters, or a statue of them. Oh, they were inside the statue all along. Who would have thought?
Solaris, Lunaris. Eclipse cold pride, flaming rage, and pass beyond this human age. Sun and moon return to their rightful places, leaving our path now clear. Highgate lies ahead, Beastslayer, and a debt that is long overdue. On this road there are the goddesses of Marraketh to be reckoned with, and they will not take kindly to our endeavor. Regardless, I must enter the corpse of my beloved beast, and wrest our sliver of hope from the life you so blindly took. There is no prophecy nor portent, no epic nor allegory that can promise your survival in this great journey of ours. For despite your trappings, you remain most certainly, irrevocably, mortal.
Your energies flow through my veins now. Thank you for distracting each other like fools.
Alright, and that is the end of Act 8. We're heading to the Blood Aqueduct to do Act 9 next. It's literally an aqueduct filled with blood. Speaking of Chris, has GGG ever talked about his departure or what happened? I don't know anything about that. I don't really care to speculate either. What do I want to do before continuing here? I think I just continue. Alright, we are back. Let's start Act 9. We're gonna make our way through these lovely blood aqueducts and head into Highgate once more.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Now this zone is pretty great for farming a few extra levels in the campaign if you need them, but I definitely don't need them at this point. So I'm just going to clear it once, running through. There's no lore down here, right? Yeah. The first time we went through the aqueducts, there was a letter from Piety, I think, next to a corpse of a guard captain.
The dark ember remains nestled deep within the putrid flesh of my dead beast. With many of Highgate's tunnels now collapsed, we must forge another way inside. I have divined one weak point in the beast's flank, an ancient wound wrought by that Varlish overreacher, Doriani. The wound was healed shut by a thick membrane, but the right decoction should dissolve the tissue and allow us inside. Of course, for a cordial of such potency, I shall require 2 ingredients of utmost rarity. First, our viscous concoction shall require basilisk acid, a princely poison which drips from the caustic heart of the basilisk, and Trathan powder, an explosive substance oft used in the mining of virtue gems. With these 2 bitter harvests, I shall brew something worthy of eroding the membrane of my decaying pet.
Interesting. So, this is a part that I never paid attention to before. Especially the part about the Dark Ember. Apparently we need the Basilisk Acid and the Trothan Powder in order to get back into the Beast.
Yes?
Let's ask about both of these things, though.
Within the ruins of Highgate Refinery, you shall find it. Trothan Powder. A slightly more unstable blend to the kind found within the celebratory rockets and illuminations of Trathus. This devious mixture of crumbled chemistry was once used to blast holes through even the thickest mountainsides. It will ensure that our mixture has the brute force required, though one should tread carefully within the refinery, for General Adus and his elite legionnaires sought refuge there during the first moments of Malachi's cataclysm. If they remain, they will be creatures of darkest discipline, strong men in health and life, made even stronger in corruption and death. Basilisk acid drips from the hearts of those venomous monsters, though I cannot blame them for their disposition. They are tragic creatures. Theirs is a sorry tale more closely tied to my own than I care to dwell upon. Alas, the forging of my Dark Ember produced some rather unfortunate byproducts. But we shall not see any success if I am to dwell on those past eras. Remember, humanity needs us.
You can gripe all you want, lover. We can't stay here. Not with all this blood.
Where do you expect us to go, Vanya? We have our whole lives here in Highgate.
I don't know. West, perhaps? The Ezomite lands. I don't care. Just somewhere that has unpoisoned water.
Oh, Beast Slayer.
Good to see you again.
Even if you have happened upon us in a rather unruly time.
Shush now, sweetie. There's no need to bother them with our woes.
Oh, they don't know. I can see on your face you haven't heard.
It's Kira. She's gone mad.
Absolutely bonkers.
She's abducted a Yun.
Stolen off with her into the desert. And to make matters worse...
The whole of Highgate is in a state of disarray. There's beast blood in the water.
Usurpers are eyeing up the throne.
And the old gods have risen. If you want my advice, get out of Highgate.
Or save us.
While you still can.
You must have encountered men and women like us before.
Relic hunters.
Collectors of rare antiquities. Anyway, Vanya and I are the best in the business.
And we need your help locating a particularly rare item.
Sweet. I was working them into it.
It's an ancient sword belonging to the Maraketh goddess Garukan.
The Stormblade, some call it. A weapon carved from crystal, capable of capturing even the most powerful of storms within its rigid edge.
The goddess lost it somewhere in the eastern desert during her ancient battle against the necromancer Suresh and his undead horde.
According to our research.
Find the blade for us and we will make it worth your while.
We'd do this ourselves, but what with the political unrest in Highgate as of late?
We fear leaving, lest we find the gateways barred and ourselves without a home.
Alright, so two things here. Kira was an NPC in Highgate in Act 4, and apparently she's gone mad. And we need to chase after her. I believe she's next to one of the goddesses that we're fighting, the Maraketh one.
Please, Vanya, don't say it.
Say what? I told you so? Well, I never trusted Kira. Her need to control everything, no matter the cost, was never a trait I held much faith in.
Yes, but ambition is not the problem. I have ambition. Do you not—
Of course, I trust you, sweetie, but you're not about to go killing everything that moves in exchange for a bit of power now, are you?
Well, I'd trade dreams of power for dreams of you, my sweets, any day.
Oh, Pataris.
I'll let Vanya take this one.
Thank you, love. I trained in Ori.
As a witch? Imagine that.
I thought I was telling this story, Pataris.
Yes, sorry, sweets.
I learned all about the old gods. They were supposed to be our idols, beings of divinity that guided us through our mortal lives.
But they aren't like that at all, are they, love?
Hardly. The gods know better than we are, and nobody that is as bad as us should ever wield that much power.
As bad as us? Speak for yourself. I'm positively delightful.
Yes, yes, you're so sweet they dipped you in a barrel of sugar as a babe. We know.
Irasha, who's that?
Well, she's the best we've got. Strong, purposeful, An honorable warrior?
I think the description you're failing to provide, love, is stick in the mud.
Stick in the mud?
Yes, as stubborn and serious as they come.
You just don't like her because she treats you differently.
Irasha is a stuck-up elitist. She refuses to see me as a woman.
Oh, sweet. You're more woman to me than all of them put together. Good luck.
You must be the outsider, the beast killer. I am Irasha, and while our soft-hearted chieftainess has gone wandering, it falls to me to make sure this Akara doesn't suffer for it. I've heard the stories they tell of you, and I know better than to pluck the feathers from a sleeping rock. Yet, for the sake of my people, I ask that you keep your peace while among us. Our customs have too often been threatened. Your ways are not our ways. Let's keep it like that. Oyun is gone for but a few days, and already Tasuni sniffs at the throne like it's a bitch in heat, ruled by a man. You need only walk amongst the ruins of San to understand that folly. Well, his desires are but wants and lusts while Oyun still lives. One of my scouts saw Kira and her Dekara near the foothills. They had Oyun bound to the back of a rower like a hunter's prize, and the Sekema feather, our symbol of leadership, worn by her captor. Whether Kira works alone or in pack with her brother Tasuni, I know not. Yet I fear she means to sacrifice our Sekema to the vulture of the wastes. Garukan, please, this Akara has helped you in the past. Return our kindness. Free Oyun and return her safely to us. And if this quest is lost, remove the traitorous bitch Kira from this world and retrieve our feather. As long as we have that, the throne of Marakath will remain safe.
Alright, so there's actually a plot here. Where's Lady Diala?
Through treacherous deeds and blind love, the Gemling Queen has taught us much. Her body remains here, surrounded by flowers, a reminder to all of us that we ought to tread lightly when chasing desire. Who can say, after all, where the line is drawn between bold ambition and foolish pride?
Oh, she died. Not surprising, though, after the events of Act 4. Let's ask about Beast Blood.
Though you showed a mighty bravery when you slew that horrendous beast, by the thoughtlessness of your actions, you have caused great trouble to fall upon our home. The water runs red with toxic corrupted blood. Now our people must travel far to fill their flasks and feed their livestock. It's as if we're in the midst of a great drought, while the water mocks us from within our own village.
Not really my fault, to be honest. If you recall, Malachi was causing havoc within the beast and had to be taken care of.
Arrogant men always seek to control that which they should not, as if that dangling piece of meat between their legs is somehow meant to lead them to power and glory. Men don't have the mind for leadership. Without guidance, they destroy all they touch. Leave the trials of power to women. We, who know how to nurture, how to grow, how to protect. No matter where you come from or who you might be, we were all birthed by a mother. Our mothers protected us and gave us nourishment. It is our duty in life to honor that great task. Without a mother, none would tread this dirt today. The most important commandment in our people's tradition is this: honor the mother, honor the life.
Let's ask about Garukan as well.
I would offer prayers up to the goddess of the breeze as a child, and listen to her voice sing and whisper as she danced through my family's wind chimes. She was my favorite. But in light of recent time, I can only believe that some immortal madness has laid waste to her mind.
Yeah, we'll ask about Kira and Petars and Vanya as
Two
well.
of the very few outsiders I've met with like assault. I'm not saying I think they should have as much sway in the Akara as they do, but the fact is, the people like them. Oyun liked them. And despite their clumsy attempts to adopt some of our traditions, I like them as well. My head is still reeling from what Kira has done to Oyun. That bitch looked at me day in and day out and proclaimed herself loyal unto death. She has shown her true face in the end. Once I thought the old gods were worthy of honor, and I can still see how one might think they are boons to be gained courting their favor. But if such favor comes at the price of Marraketh lives, then I spit on the old gods, and Kira as well. May they all rot in the endless desert.
Alright. Tatsune's still here. Oh, there lies Diala, the Jumbling Queen. Interesting.
The nightmares are but whispers now, yet like prophets, cowering within crevice and crack. They speak of old gods returned, and the reprisal of an exile to a beleaguered land. My sister Kira has grown obsessed with the vulture of the wastes, our goddess Garukan. Kira has taken Oyun and plans to sacrifice her, imagining she can reforge herself as a Red Sakema, a warlord destined to unite the Marraketh under her bloody banner. My sister's betrayal is too great for forgiveness. Like a rabid dog wandering the mountain pass, she must be put down. I ask this of you, for you are familiar with such barbarism and will not feel the pangs of mercy that I would. On her person, I suspect you will find Oyun's royal mandate, the Sakema feather. If Kira truly wishes to take the throne, she would need such an item to be considered more than a simple usurper. Bring it to me for safekeeping. And please, return our Sakema Oyun to us if you can. If she still lives, that is. But don't risk your life for hers. For I know her mind. She would not want that.
Huh. So, Irasha was pretty critical of Tatsune, but it seems they're actually on the same side.
Creation
in a way.
And writhes.
They both want to punish Kira for the betrayal, and they want the Sakema feather back. I think there's a choice here where you can give it to one or the other, but I don't think that choice has any impact on gameplay.
Very good.
Let's ask him about these three things as well.
Why ask me about her? That woman doesn't like me very much, and I can't say I'm particularly fond of her either. She seems to have gotten into her head somehow that I am the epitome of all evil. A selfish, blind villain. Nothing can be further from the truth. Other than the blind part, of course. I suppose Irasha has good intentions. She truly wishes to see our tribe flourish. However, she is too caught up in ancient traditions to see that for us to truly flourish, we must transcend tradition. We must become progressors of the future, not attendants to dry, dusty history.
The beast.
In the twisting, shifting black smoke of my dreaming, I saw the beast, lying slain at your feet. I saw the rise of the old gods, the rigid, dusty remains, springing in sudden haste to life. I saw the growing of their power. As the corruption began to fade, I felt utter anguish, the madness of the beast's last rapid breath. Yet my sight, my power, still remains. It would appear that I was permanently marked by its corruption, even as I was birthed from my mother's womb. While now, my mother is no longer around to protect me, and the beast lies rotting in the bowels of that wretched mountain.
what do you have to say about sin?
Yes, I know of that dark god perched atop your shoulder. His image comes forth in my mind's eye, and I hear the sound of his breath crackle against the coldness of our mountain air. He has a different energy to the other gods revealed in my dreams. Less hostile, more empathetic to the plight which humanity suffers. Should his brethren be left to roam free? It seems, Lord Sin, as if you are on our side.
Huh. Honestly,
you yourself proud today.
Tasuni sounds like the more reasonable person, as opposed to Irasha. You could say that Irasha seems irrational. But let's head into the descent and actually progress the story.
When I'm ready, and not before. Oops, clumsy me.
Alright, we found a storm weather chest in the ruins of some kind of shrine. Defeat the mummies. This is where we get the storm blade that Petars and Vanja mentioned. But we're really not doing that for story purposes. It's literally just a relic for a pair of relic hunters. No actual bearing on the story. At least so it would seem at this point. Yeah, let's read what it says. Garakan sought madness and knowledge among the billowing clouds of a blackened sky, a vulture of pride she would not be refused, and so the stratosphere divulged unto her eldritch secrets. Oh, divulged unto her eldritch secrets of its tumultuous past.
When I'm ready, and not before.
There appears to be a sandstorm blocking this path, and we want to ask Sin about it. In the meantime, we can go this way. Head into the foothills. Alright, I'm gonna head back to town, even though normally I would just power through and do the quests here. I want to actually hear what they have to say about it. Maybe I can get the quests before I get the quest items this time.
In the Marraketh Desert, an oasis lies to the east. Its waters shielded from prying eyes by a preternatural storm. The sand will rip the very flesh from your bones, should you be so foolish as to enter into its dark shroud. Yet enter you must. The goddess Shakari hides within that golden blizzard, festering with revenge as she resurrects and rebuilds her ancient army. An army that once threatened to shake the very balance of these lands. Should she be allowed to revitalize her troops, the whole of Marraketh will finally fall under the cruelty of her selfish reign. The storm is impenetrable for now, even to the likes of me, but there must be a way in. These Highgate locals, they have an affinity for the desert and harsh weather. One of them may know of a way to disperse the storm.
Let's ask about the Queen of the Sands.
It is not something I deign to speak of often, but this goddess, this creature, she was once the flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. I rose into the clouds and fell into the arms of their queen, the beautiful Garu Khan. Now, if you think that mortal marriages are difficult to navigate, try an immortal one. We parted ways, yet not before my young Queen of the Sands was born into this world of filth and horror. Now you see how I must suffer for the sake of humanity, to lay mine own daughter upon the sacrificial altar.
Wow, okay. So, Sen was married to Garu Khan, and he's the father of the Queen of the Sands. He fathered a scorpion. Although she probably wasn't a scorpion at one point.
A traveler on the winds, Garu Khan pridefully plundered the sky for its secrets. To her mind, wisdom could be found in the eye of a hurricane. Please understand that Garu Khan is not an evil being. She was once my friend and companion. Her beauty astonished me as her aspirations inspired me. Yet I must forgo my sentiments for the sake of humankind. Like winds erode the sandstone, Garu Khan has been warped by the same powers she enslaved. This is not my goddess that you shall slay. And if I continue to say it, I might very well come to believe it. Farewell, alone.
Queen of the Winds.
I weep for my poor Garu Khan.
Huh.
Together we experienced the loftiest moments that this world could offer. Alas, it was my heavy heart that she could no longer bear. I knew her pride would one day be the storm that would ravage my precious humanity. In truth, it was for Garu Khan that I sowed the dark ember within the depths of Highgate. When love cannot be slain, it must be laid down to sleep. Remember, humanity needs us.
You did it! They found it, Bataris! They found it!
By the gods! Garu Khan's famed Stormblade.
Do you know what this means, my sweets? Once we find the right collector...
Oh, we can go anywhere. Have anything. We will be like royalty.
But the storm inside is a problem. It's too volatile in its current state.
You're right. We can't trade away a weapon of such apocalyptic nature.
This will require some pondering, my love. In the meantime, thank you, Exile. Take your pick of our stock.
Have you ever heard much of the Marraketh legends?
A truly unique cosmology of strange creatures, pagan gods, and powerful treasures.
One such story talks of a magical stone dial.
A Marraketh calendar, said to detail important events in the future of our world.
General Adis, a war hero of the Empire, reported in his diaries of discovering a dial meeting that description at a dig site somewhere in the foothills.
It appears the war hero had a secret penchant for archaeologies.
But the cataclysm wiped the land clean and buried the dig site in rocks and sand. No one has been able to locate it since, nor the stone dial.
Seems that with everything that's been going on of late, knowing what's due to happen in the future could be a fairly profitable ability.
We know you would never have use for such a gift.
It would remove all the enjoyment out of adventure for someone like you.
Yet, in times such as these, us small folk could do well with a heads up if something particularly nasty were to occur. Besides, a relic like that should sit in a museum.
Or our collection.
Not be lost beneath the rubble where it benefits no one.
If you were to track the calendar down for us, we would pay you handsomely, Exile.
Yes, we are traders of antiquities after all. Well, it took some time, but thanks to our Marraketh neighbors
and their ancient traditions,
we managed a strain of thaumaturgy to remove the storm from Garu Khan's blade.
We even bottled it for safekeeping.
We'd rather not trust anyone with this sort of power, but perhaps you can use it to clear away that sandstorm in the desert?
Find out what sort of nasties are hiding out there in the desert and put a stop to them.
Turns out the sword was vital to the story after all, because we need this bottle storm to make it into the desert. One should not entice the storm, one cannot invite the storm, or give warrant to its tyrant soul. We survive only by appeasing the storm with gifts and offerings of adoration. We hope that in its mercy it shall pass us by. Tempestology of the Marraketh, Repudian the Fourth. Let's ask about General Adis as well.
A noble legionnaire.
But a legionnaire.
Morning, Zoe.
Pataris and I did our research on Adis.
We needed to know as much about him and his dig site as possible.
To make sure he was worth our while.
The general was an eternal commander of the Highgate Legion.
He ran a mining camp up here in the mountains. The bastard was the one responsible for controlling Karui, Marraketh, and Ezamite slaves, forcing them into the black bowels of rockfishes in search of gems.
At least he treated them fairly and as human beings.
A slave is still a slave, my sweets.
For all his faults, the general appears to have been a good man for his time. It's a shame what happened to him. An even greater shame that by the sounds of things, he's come back.
Yes, we'd advise steering clear of his old camp.
There we go.
Be careful.
Hey, Fawny 100, welcome.
When I received my first flower of blood, I was given to the ritual of womanhood. All young Marraketh women have to dance with the scorpion to prove themselves worthy of carrying the Dakara's spear. It is no easy task to catch a black Marraketh scorpion. Their tails are swift, their stingers sharp, their poison lethal. I made my way through the trial unscathed, but my sister... We shared a womb, came into this world together. She left it, thrashing and foaming at the mouth. Since that day, I have slept with one eye open for fear of the scorpion's sting. And now Shakari, the mother of all black bugs, rises from the sands. Find that scuttling bitch and kill her for me and for every child. Every little girl who has suffered and died by the barb of a countless poisoned tales.
Wow, it sounds like those archaic traditions are the problem and not really the scorpions, if you ask me, Irasha, but okay. Still, we do want to slay that god, so we'll head over there after we get the... Actually, let's do that now. We have the stuff for that.
When I'm ready, and not before.
We've removed the storm using the bottle storm. Use one storm to remove another, apparently. Fight fire with fire. Actually, I just glossed over this. There's a vault area here that doesn't really do anything, but maybe there's some lore. The Forbidden Vault. Right, this is where we meet Jun, actually.
Exile, I fear I have not been entirely honest with you. This dusty pit was once the Forbidden Vault, and I its guardian. That you have not heard of it is not surprising. It was kept in absolute secrecy for countless generations, known only to my Akara. The Order of the Jinn. It feels so strange to tell someone. To speak so plainly would have been a sin of the highest order, punishable by death. It seems harsh to an outsider like yourself, but you do not know the importance of what we did.
The Forbidden Vault. Now, I don't believe we've actually encountered Jun yet in this playthrough before now. It was possible to encounter her in this act, but we missed it.
My Akara, my people, were long ago tasked with protecting the people of Rayclass from themselves. Many artifacts of great power exist. You have come across some such in your travels. But there are some artifacts whose power is so great that to use them would put the world in jeopardy. Artifacts like the Horns of Kulamak. We, the Order of the Jinn, existed to keep such power sealed away in secret. Better that the world forget that it, and we exist, than fight for control of a power they have no hope of controlling.
Isn't she in the town the first time you arrive? I didn't see her. I think you encounter her first when you run into a fortification syndicate encounter. I could be wrong though. Maybe I just missed her in town. Let's ask about the Order of the Jinn.
You have not heard of us because you were never meant to hear of us. I say us. In truth, it is just me left. We came from all walks of life, but we were all orphans, taken in and raised by the Order, and taught never to speak of it under punishment of death. It sounds harsh, I understand, but such was the importance of our duty that a life of solitude and secrecy was necessary. For hundreds, maybe thousands of years, we remained secret, until Janus Perandus, that imbecile, he sold us out. Reaching for the last vestiges of his ancestral glory. Just like his great-grandfather Chittus, he may have doomed us all. You have heard of the famed Perandus family, I have no doubt. Wealthy and powerful, and responsible for putting Malachi in position to bring Rayclass to ruin all those centuries ago. Though Emperor Chittus is the most famous of the Perandus family, some remnants of his vile bloodline linger even still. Janus was one such remnant. He too was orphaned, but with the Perandus coffers dry and the Perandus name worth its weight in gold, no one took him in. No one except my Akara. That he is the only other survivor and is now a powerful member of the Immortal Syndicate leaves no doubt in my mind that it was he who sold us out. If there is but one silver lining in all of this, it is that I may get to sink my blades into his flesh over and over and over.
Yeah, she really hates him. Well, that explains it. Yeah, also, I just noticed that Emperor Chittus was also a Perandus. I didn't know that either.
Hello. We were only taught what was passed down for generations. We believed the horns to be the ultimate tool of life and death, capable of siphoning the very breath of life from any living thing. We do not know where it came from. Perhaps the remains of a powerful, long-dead animal. Perhaps a creation of the gods themselves. Regardless of its provenance, I believe the horns are what have given the Immortal Syndicate their miraculous ability to return from the dead unscathed.
Oh, interesting. The Horns of Kulamak is what Katarina used to make the Immortal Syndicate.
Blessings.
A long, long time ago, Katarina used to be a Forsaken Master. I was actually one of the NPCs you had to do tasks in your maps for. Along with Elrion Vorici, and multiple other members. I forgot the name. Wait, Haku. Who else? Tora.
When I'm ready, and not before.
The PvP guy. What's his name again? Damn. What's his name? Vegan. That's the one. Those were all Forsaken Masters that you had to do little mini quests for inside your maps in order to level them up and get crafting recipes and other rewards. But they all betrayed us to join Katarina's Immortal Syndicate. Yeah, that was forever ago. Technically, Zana was also one of them. Zana was the map one, but she was also a Forsaken Master in that era. Speaking of forever ago, I've been following this channel for 7.5 years. Yeah. Yeah, back when this was actually a PoE channel. And there used to be rain sounds in the background. Alright, let's... Wait, what is the... Oh, this is a desert hideout. That's not what I wanted. That just unlocks a hideout, but we already have that unlocked. Let's head into the sand pits and fight Shakari, Queen of the Sands, Daughter of Sin, and Garakan. Great music in here. The voice acting seemed really great in Baldur's Gate. Yeah, it's pretty good. Both in the original 2 games and also in the new one. Gameplay-wise, the old ones didn't really hold up that well, in my opinion. They're kind of archaic. They even use older D&D rules, which are a bit more complicated.
Be free from the torments of immortality.
But the voice acting's great, and the story is pretty great.
A mother's keen heart shall bleed into the dreams of her daughter. Once a beauty who held captive the hearts of men and women alike, Shikari's splendor decayed into lust for the power possessed by her skyborn mother. My daughter once sought out such power within the great sands of this desert. Ever determined, she found it, and it made of her the twisted creature you so mercifully dispatched. Driven by agony and shame, she built an army out here in these sweltering lands, and would have conquered the very sky had not the beast soothed her into peaceful oblivion. A babe once more, sleeping in her cradle.
Alright.
A toxic taste. Just the way I enjoy it.
Again, the witch wants to taste things. Especially nasty things. She wants to eat everything, drink everything, taste everything.
You killed Shikari. My sister's death has finally been avenged. Shikari was supposed to be our divine teacher, said to guide us into womanhood. All she ever gave was death. I suppose it's fitting that the teacher has learnt that mortal lesson for herself. Our whole lives, we have lived for the blessings of our goddesses. Yet here they are, in the flesh, proving to us that they are only monsters. Please, let me reward you for your efforts.
Hello.
Yes?
Yes?
So June is here, but I didn't even notice her the first time we entered the town. I guess we could look back at the video and see if she was actually here the whole time.
Blessings.
I didn't see her at least.
Who are you?
Oh yeah, she's the nightclub owner in Cyberpunk. I forgot her name though. If these guys weren't so stingy with their skill books, this whole debacle would have been over a decade ago. Nice. Yeah, there's so much untapped potential in all these skill books. Alright, let's head back to the foothills. Get the basilisk acid from the boiling lake.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Right, no, this flask. Actually, this life flask might be usable. I haven't really been replacing my flasks. Currently have a poison one. Yeah, let's take this one instead. Just heals a lot more. No instant healing, but I'm probably not going to need that anyway. And if I recall correctly, I have corrupted blood immunity on my mana flask. Oh, hi. There's a basilisk. Currency gift, I'll keep that.
Shame. I would have loved a basilisk as a pet.
Well, at least she didn't say that she wanted to taste the basilisk acid. I think that might have ended poorly. Alright, I'm not gonna go back to town yet. I'm gonna look for the calendar and the foothills. We need to kill an NPC called Boulderback. In my opinion, missed opportunity. The basilisk could have turned the actual boss to stone and then it awakens when you kill it. Sure, that would have been a twist.
Exile! You are a welcome omen.
Oh, hi, Einar.
You are captured, stupid beast.
You are captured, stupid beast.
You are captured, stupid beast.
I can never remember where Boulderback actually is in this zone. He looks just like these people, or these creatures, rather. Just slightly different skin. Oh, there he is.
Up you go, little beast.
I guess he's made of stone, maybe. He's one of these creatures, but made of stone. Calendar of Fortune. Yeah, you get the quest item drop as well, so you see it immediately once you kill him. The king looked upon images swirling atop the ancient stone dial. You look peaceful, he told his bride-to-be. So peaceful, asleep in our wedding bed. But in phantasm she did not slumber, and what he saw was not a place for dreams. Rather a wooden box, about to be closed and lowered into earthy depths. Marketh legend. She was in a coffin. Oh.
When I'm ready, and not before.
I wonder what that has to do with the calendar. Why is that flavor text on the calendar? Maybe they'll tell us in the dialogue for the quests once we handed it in.
We will be best friends, beast, till we slaughter you. There are no more worthy beasts nearby, so Einar will go feed the ones we caught.
Good job, Einar. Let's head through the tunnel. Although I should probably go back to town soon to get some more information. Hey, Kadank. Quack, morning. I believe there's a labyrinth trial in here as well, but we don't have to do it. Alright, let's head back to town now. Hey, no beasts were harmed in the making of this video game, Sully.
You have done well, but our concoction requires both acid and powder. Return to me when you have collected the second partner in our corrosive duo. Goodbye.
Ah, our relic hunter returns.
You could make a regular go at this.
How about it, hero? Leave behind your warmongering ways and work for us.
No? Well, never mind. In any case...
Here's that reward we promised. Take care.
No more exclamation marks? No. Right, I guess they didn't have that much to say about anything we just did.
Through treachery.
We can sell that. Oh, this is enduring. But I'm using the corrupting blood immunity. Damn. I like enduring mana flasks, but I'm probably not gonna need it for the campaign anyway. On this character. Back through the tunnel we go.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Gonna start taking these lightning nodes here. What is this? This is not lightning. I guess there's a lightning thing in this mastery. Yeah, fire, cold, and lightning exposure. Alright, so this is that wound in the beast that we were told about.
May humanity flourish. The ember is a seed. The black core of the beast's heart. It is the pure, undiluted essence of corruption. Everything my pet once was, all of its power, the stupefying effect it had on us gods, it all dwells within this dark ember. With this, we shall lay Kitava to waste. The once-starved god shall fill his gut and pass on into oblivion. Kitava will fall, and the ember shall disperse into nothing more than ash dancing across the cobbled rooftops of Oriath.
Right, so Sin wants to feed the dark ember to Kitava in order to kill him. I don't quite remember, but I don't think that's exactly how the how it pans out in Act 10. We'll see though. I'm gonna head into the refinery, fight General Adis, and get the Trothan powder. There were a lot of corpse exploders there.
When I'm ready, and not before.
This guy doesn't even say anything, he just immediately wants to fight. Alright. Theurgic Precipitate Machine. Trothan powder. Blow it all down, the Emperor must have his gems, no matter the cost.
I love the smell of alchemy.
She loves the smell of this. Doesn't want to taste it, though. That's progress.
And so my mistakes are put to rest, and the mighty general has fallen. We honor them both with this brew. Now that I have both ingredients, I shall brew us a nice cup of what we need.
Coffee?
There has never been a substance more corrosive than this, apart from my dear Garo Khan's sarcastic wit. Let us meet soon at the blood pools surrounding the Legion, and from there we shall burn ourselves a pathway into the belly of the beast. Remember, humanity needs us.
Alright, we could do that, but there's still other stuff I want to finish first. We need to save Oyun from Kira and Garakan. That should be on the opposite side from the refinery. Shrine of the Winds. Kira, servant of Garakan. I feel like there should have been dialogue here. It does really seem like they ran out of time with the last part of the campaign. A lot of the bosses are just instant combat. No, no dialogue. But especially this one, because Kira used to be friendly towards us. She used to be an NPC in Act 4. Why would gods have words to spare from mere mortals? Yeah, but Kira though. I get why the gods don't talk.
You were too beautiful for this ugly world. I shall find you in the next.
Right, so Kira dies. Oh, Oyun is dead actually. Oyun lies here. Rip. This is another part of this part of the... This is another part of this act that I've never noticed. They've already sacrificed Oyun, the former leader of Highgate. But yes, Kira did get killed in that encounter, along with Garkon.
It shames me to know the horrors wrought by our hands here and now. Garkon was complicated, but she was also stubborn, and never would have thought to change her ways. We have given her a sky burial. That is the best we can do. Even in the old times, she was vain beyond comparison. It was her ambition that corrupted her, despite all my warning words. Well, look now, where ambition has gotten you, my love.
We only get dialogue from the feather.
Divine spark, like no other.
Yeah. What is a sky burial? Leaving the body to rot under the sky, maybe? Because that's the only burial she's getting. I mean, because you have to choose between who to give the feather to. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Tasuni. I was initially leaning towards Irasha, but then she went on some really angry rants. I feel like Tasuni is the more reasonable person. Also, I'm not a fan of old traditions being upheld. Like, traditions are... How do I put it? If a tradition is doing more harm than good, then it should be abolished. And Irasha does not seem to understand that. Tasuni always struck me a bit power-hungry. I really didn't get that from his dialogue.
And not before.
Irasha accused him of being power-hungry, but... Yeah, I really didn't get that feel from my conversations with him. But there could be no good answer here. Maybe they're both bad. That seems to be a recurring theme with this game. All the options lead to bad outcomes. Kind of like Cyberpunk. Anyway, let's head back to Highgates and hand the feather over to Tasuni.
The shadows are lifting at last, hand in hand. You and I, we have guided my people towards a brighter future. I suppose you wonder why I do not mourn? For my sister, for Oyun. Why should I? There is no sense in shedding a tear for those who stand in the way of progress. They have passed from this coil. and that is the best thing either could have done for their people. With our poor Sakema removed from her saddle, the way is clear. In lieu of a worthy leader, I shall step up, and with the backing of my followers, claim the throne of Highgate. Irasha may spit and curse, yet her duty shall overcome her distaste. She will bow to the one who bears the feather, as high custom dictates. Of course.
Another reason why I think he's a better pick is he's literally blind. They could easily assassinate him if he becomes too power hungry. He wouldn't see them coming.
My poor Oyun. Tell me, exile, did she suffer? No, I don't desire to know. She was a good ruler, wise and benevolent. Our people will miss her, and I shall grieve her as if she were my own flesh and blood. But now, Tasuni with feather in hand moves to take Highgate for himself. His followers are as blind as he, and so must you be, for it's clear to my eyes that Tasuni desires but one wish, to rise up as a god. We've seen our old gods born anew from the sand, flesh and blood where once there was only song and story. Tasuni would turn his weak flesh and watery blood into lore and legend? To think that Highgate might fall to the whims of that shriveled cock. You have brought me grief. Then that is typical of outsiders, is it not?
Wow, she is really, really not happy about that. Again, though, I don't think there's any risk of him becoming a god if we use the Dark Ember to defeat Kitava. I feel like the Dark Ember was the source of the power that enabled people to ascend to godhood in the first place. At least that's the impression I got from our conversations with Sin. And I really don't share her her suspicions towards Tasuni. Although I acknowledge that the best leader would have probably been Oyun if she were alive still. Unfortunately, we didn't save her in time. And we can't... There is no way for us to do that within the game. Alright, let's head back to the quarry, meet Sin, and melt this this wall of bone and flesh.
Here we stand, amidst the coagulating remnants of my creation. Funny, isn't it? Once I placed my beast on a pedestal as my pride and joy. Yet now I send you to breach the hull of my pet's fouling black core. I have brewed for us a potion from the remnants of our harvesting hunt. I shall apply this fermentation to the weakened membrane and meet you within the black core where we shall further our agenda.
Clear answer is to never turn in the feather and play with -1 passive. Oh, and just forever have the feather in our inventory as well. Because you can't stash quest items. Ruler of Highgate ending, yeah. Maybe the witch will eventually eat the feather to taste it. Hey Fawny, have a good one. Reach the black core.
Now I am truly surrounded by death.
So I've never noticed this either. These eyes, in the original time when we entered the beasts, these eyes were moving, and now they're still... they're dead. No more Resident Evil weak spots to shoot at.
When I'm ready, and not before.
But there's still a bunch of creatures down here.
Life
Really nasty ones at that. I wonder what the story is with Drool Maw. I think this is another NPC or mini-boss that they just never explain. Doesn't this scythe looks kind of like the Harvest unique item, doesn't it? And actually, his armor looks very similar to alternate art Carcass Jack from one of the early race leagues. But maybe it's not the same model. I'm not sure. Kind of looks like the architects from Prometheus. I could see that. Looked exactly like the Harvest? Yeah, I thought so. I think that's another point where they just didn't have enough time to add the lore behind the NPC. They probably meant to include something about this mini boss. What was the reason, or what was the NPC's name? Drool Maw. Hang on, let me type it out. Drool Maw. Maybe he's mentioned somewhere else, but I'm not sure. I don't recall seeing anything about him ever in any of the lore text I've seen. Alright, we're entering the rotting core. Might be wrong on this, but wasn't there like a chance to spawn random unique scenarios in the past? You might be a remnant of that. I'm not too sure about that. Maybe. Oh, we have another delirium mirror. I really hope we get one of my favorite lines.
The smell is bad, but the tenants are worse.
Oh no, we don't, because the ones on the maps are actually some of the best ones. I just realized we delirium mirrors in the campaign have specific lines for each zone, I believe. Like Molten Core, but different. Yeah.
When I'm ready.
Very different. We just need 40 people and we're good, yeah. We'll probably wipe on the first magma giants anyway. Because someone pulled an extra dog during the fight. Alright, we're in the black core now. So one thing to note here is that this is where we fought Malachi in Act 4. And these hearts were part of that fight, but now they're wide open. And they appear to be doing something with this pool. There's like veins going into the pool. Looks like Drill Maw will forever be a mystery. No one knows anything on the interweb. Rip.
Something doesn't seem right. Yes, it would appear our old friend Malachi has one final trick to play. A thaumaturgical wound to the hearts of my precious beast. This complicates things, but not perhaps so much that there is nothing we can do. Exile, listen to me. I'm about to release the souls of our unholy trinity from their decanter.
Oh.
Their anger will exude more power than you have experienced ever before. You must defeat them one by one to fuse their remnants into something volatile enough to coax the dark ember from its womb. Ready yourself.
I never realized this. He's the one that releases the trio. And then we have to defeat them.
The souls of these three continue to surprise us. Quickly now, the hearts have become doorways. End to end, complete your mission, though I cannot say exactly what you will find on the other side.
See, in all my past playthroughs, I always thought that the trio was just here, for some reason. I never paid enough attention to realize why they were here now.
The souls of these three continue to...
Okay. Well, let's go get Chevron.
When I'm ready, and not before.
And Maligaro. And Dordry. Alright, let's hear his explanation for what is actually happening with the next boss. Because that one's a bit weird.
At last, our trio joins to become one foul spirit. Destroy that creature of darkness, and let us be rid of this place.
Okay, so releasing them onto the hearts and killing them again turns them into the trio. The depraved trinity. And somehow defeating them will let us get the Dark Ember. I'm not sure I completely follow, but okay. Video game logic, I guess.
My soul flows with dark energies. Time to show them what I can really do.
Oh, and where are we right now? I never really paid attention to that either. Whalem Roth's Roth is here with a ship. I wonder if we just got expelled through the aqueducts or something, or through the running water. And this is the ocean. Weird.
You're questioning me, the great sea mistress Lily Roth, about how she so happened to find you failing at drowning on some godforsaken fleshy piece of land. Thought it'd be obvious. Grandfather and I, we came to thank you for our little reunion here you started. Caught wind that you were playing around up here with that dead beast from the locals. So we followed your trail, dreading we'd be finding your body bits strewn all over this godforsaken mountain. But lo and behold, what do we get? Our favourite exile twiddling their thumbs. Your lucky old Whalem's still got some thaumaturgical prowess in his bones. How the hell did you end up here anyhow? Well, I suppose you'll be wanting us to ferry you over to Oriath. Take care of that nasty cannibal god Katava once and for all? Well, we'd be glad to oblige. There'll be plenty of treasures in ruined Theopolis just sitting there for the taking, I'm sure. Say the words and we'll set the sails.
Wow, that's the first trade whisper I've gotten this entire league. Oh, it has maximum fire res. That's actually a pretty good one.
Time and tide wait for no man.
Yeah, there should be a rowboat or something. I guess they use the ropes to get up? I'm not sure.
I ain't gonna lie to you, friend. You look like actual shite. Like a real big steamy pile of goat droppings. What in the bloody hell happened to you since we last crossed compasses? Well, never fear. Your favourite Captain Old Rottooth is here to save the day. I guess I owes you a bit on account of bringing Lily and I back together.
Are they trying to barter, or did you not set a price? I just dumped all my excess crafts into a tab and made it public. I didn't realize anyone actually still did the whole trade whisper thing, but that confirms it, I guess.
Aye, as you can see, finally found the missing powder in me shot pouch. By that I mean me courage. Managed to make my way out to Lion Eyes Watch to see my granddaughter finally. Tell you, I don't know what in the blazes I was fretting about. She took to me like a fish to water. It was as if no time had passed at all. Anyhow, it'd be lucky for you that we did so, as we were out looking for you to offer our thanks. Followed me compass, listened to the thaumaturgical whisperings of my ship, and next we know, we'll be following a trail of blood and guts leading straight to you, wasting your time in the middle of God knows where.
Speaking of God knows where, where is Sin in all this? Why did we end up here separated from Sin? Interesting. Alright, that's the end of Act 9.
Good tidings to you.
As we set sail to Oriath, we'll be starting Act 10.
Ready to go? Just in time as well. Grandad says there's a good thaumaturgical headwind blowing our way.
Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break here before I start Act 10. I need to get some more coffee and use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Give the poor guy his item? No. See, this is exactly what was wrong with the old trade system. You'd be busy having fun and enjoying the game, and then you get a whisper from someone that wants to barter. And it takes you out of the actual gameplay.
Sold something while you were gone.
But I will price check this item before I start Act 10. He can buy it from the Faustus tab if he wants. If he wants this. Maximum fire. This one. See, he was trying to lowball me as well. Obviously, we don't give this to the guy that wanted to pay 40C for something worth 1 divine.
Really?
Yeah, really. I mean, I totally get you, but I also know... You also know how it feels to see the perfect item and just not get a reply. Yeah, but if you do see... If you do see the perfect item, you don't lowball with like half the price off. I mean, you could, but you're not the good guy in that situation. See, someone bought it for 1 divine instantly. It might even have been worth more than that. What do I know? See, I'm just really happy that I never have to interact with that old trade system ever again. I am just going to use instant buyout every single time. If I see the perfect item and it's not listed with instant buyout, then that item does not exist to me. I just don't interact with that part of the trade system at all. Anyway. Alright, we are back and about to start the 10th and final act of this game. Let's talk to Lillian Whalem.
Well, once more, you owe me for letting you sail around on me ship. But that's okay. I'm the kind of gal who can play the long game. Sometime in the future, I'll be in need of your services once more. You can pay me back then. All right, come on. You got a job to do. Lives to save, gods to kill. Better get to it.
True that. Let's ask about Bannon.
That Bannon's a real siren if you ask me. Even after the beating he's taken. Bulging muscles, pretty yellow hair. I'd be willing to bet the barrel of his piece is longer than a ship's mast as well, if you be understanding me drift. It's a shame, in all honesty, that he's one of them foolish holy men. Though even that ain't so bad. Lily Roth loves herself a challenge.
Is that voiceover AI? No. There's literally 0 AI voiceover in this. Also, hi, Cyber Exile.
Not much I can say about that raving monster. While he still breathes, it fares ill for all of us. There ain't no amount of ocean we can put between us and him that Katava won't see as simply an extra jug of wine in his cup.
Time and tide wait for no man.
Welcome ye to Oriath. Smell that fresh land lubber air. Ain't nothing like the air in Theopolis, full of debauchery and pollution, hidden neath the garb of them holy Templars. Seems the place has changed a fair bit since last I were here. A lot more blood and entrails than what I remember. Well, Best Lily and I stay here, where it be safe. You journey on ahead, matey, and see what blimey buggers you get to kill next. Say, you're not in the market for a new cutlass or anything, are you? Recently unlocked the Black Crest's old armory. Found a whole shitload of weaponry down there from another time. If you fancy it, be glad to show you my stock. See if there's anything in there you'd like to pick up.
Yeah, I might do that. Let's ask about Lanny as well.
Nah, there's a woman who can hold her own. Oh, hey, look at her. A marvelous specimen of the female persuasion. Reminds me of Meredith, me long-lost sweetheart. Oh, would it be that I could have a woman like that at my side once more? Someone to stare out over the bow into the salt spray of the sea with. Someone to warm the cockles of me heart. And a few other things in my bed at night. Oh, yeah. Now that'd be the dream.
Wow, calm down, Wayland. Or Whalem, rather. Let's talk to Lonnie, actually.
The prodigal returns. Have you brought with you a weapon to free us? The ravenous one has only grown more hungry since you left us, and I fear your efforts may be too little, too late. Kitava has all but destroyed us here, and our poor departed Utula's cultists have taken hold of the city. There's little ground left to tread that won't cause the grasping claws of Hinekora to reach out and wring our pretty little necks. I see your eyes, exile. You wonder why I am here instead of at the Overseer's Tower. I'll tell you the horrible truth. The tower has fallen to the infernal devices of Kitava. That witch, Violenta, is to blame. She lowered a secret ladder and led Kitava's cultists right to our very beds. Bannon and I barely escaped with our lives. Together, we cut through the hordes, but it was no use. They had us surrounded. Bannon created a distraction which allowed me to flee. When I last saw him, he was perched atop the rooftops, holding off our enemies, though how long he will last, I cannot say. If you are going that way, perhaps you can find him and return him to me. I have grown fond of that Templar. The fire of Namahu burns within his belly. It would not fare well for us in this war if that fire were lost.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. Violenta was one of the NPCs in the Act 5 tower. Wait, was it Act 5? Or was that Act 6? Let me check. No, it's Act 5. Actually, if we go back to the Overseer's Tower in Act 5, Bannon and Violenta are here. So there's some kind of time travel going on if you go back to previous acts. Alright, let's talk to Sin though. I wanna know how he escaped and why he didn't why he wasn't the one to save us from all the blood.
It is good to see that you survived, my friend. But then, you have fared far worse. The froth of a violent ocean should be no problem for you. While we have been absent, Oriath has become a necropolis, a swarm of Kitava's wretched servants. The situation looks more dire than I had first anticipated. Before we make our move, we must know what we are dealing with. I send you, Exile, as a scout. As the only scout that would stand a chance moving through the shifting forms of this nightmare. You must discover where Kitava resides. Only then can we issue our final blow.
Alright, tell me more about the Dark Ember. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what it is.
You needn't fret. The Dark Ember is still safely in my possession, and will remain so until our final confrontation with Kitava. That carnivorous blasphemy will fall like a log cut from the darkest of forests, and we shall watch him burn as Oriath and the rest of this world breathes a sigh of relief.
Okay. What about the gods?
Aside from my own presence, I no longer feel the vibrations of other gods. Though there may yet be more out there, for now, Rayclass can breathe a sigh of relief. However, we must turn our sights to Kitava, who still gorges himself on those poor souls trapped in Oriath. You have drunk your fill of my kind. The essence of deity courses through your veins, waiting to be expunged upon a chosen victim. We can only hope it will be strength enough to face that demoniac of a god. Lily Roth is a noble... how do you say it? Scallywag? I have witnessed the rise and fall of many great men and women over the eons, and Lily is well on her way to being amongst the very best of them. I suspect one day her name shall be sung in salty taverns the world around. I must remember to keep on her good side, now that she can see me. The beautiful pirate princess hunting down the great god Sin would make for a fantastic tale, I'm sure, but one I would rather have remain in the pages of fiction. Farewell.
Freedom comes to those who fight.
We could ask about Valenta some more.
I believe Valenta was not of sound mind. At night, we often heard her cry out in sleep, fearing unseen things. I wanted to toss her out on the streets, let the beasts of this fallen city tend to her madness. But Bannon refused to leave behind one of his own. Would that he had listened to me. Valenta thought that if she gave us up to Kitava, the Ravenous One would look kindly upon her. Well, look upon her he did. But what he saw and what she became is the thing of nightmares. Her nightmares, perhaps.
Sin.
A dark angel on your shoulder, perhaps? In another time, the presence of this god would trouble me, perhaps even frighten me. But in these days, I cannot afford the sensation of surprise. If he's helped you this far, as you say, then one might expect he will help you all the way to the bitter end, and that is good enough for me. Kitava's appetite has grown bigger than even his devotees had expected. His hunger moves faster now than his followers can keep up. I suppose the canals were the perfect answer to their problem, really. They converted them into one giant feeding trough to bring food to his mouth at a speedier rate. Remember, we do this for freedom.
Oh, Divinia hasn't shown up before. Let's have a quick chat with her.
Hello there, exile.
Oh. Interesting.
You can see him too? I thought I was hallucinating. Wait, you're working with him. Do you know who that is? He's the original evil. I won't have anything to do with a monster like him.
Oh, interesting. So this is also a past League mechanic called Sanctum. She was added later. She wasn't actually part of the original story. She does have something to say about Lonnie.
I don't know her very well, but she seems very determined. I hope she survives all this.
The Mortinomicon. What was that again?
The Mortinomicon Exitio Immortalis, as its lengthy name implies, is quite the difficult read. As a layer of extra security, it was written in the ancient language of the newcomers that were instrumental in the founding of our religion. Very few people can speak it, let alone read it. I'm deciphering the language at the same time that I'm translating and researching. It's mentally taxing to the extreme, but I have no choice but to soldier on.
Newcomers.
In all my research, and believe me, I've done more than most, I've still never been able to figure out who the newcomers truly were. They learned our language, but theirs has been mostly lost over thousands of years. It has a completely different grammatical structure, too, so translating it is a slow and difficult task. If only I could find that elusive shrine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this only relates to her Sanctum League mechanic, although she has something to say about the Roths as well.
Have you seen their little black cat? I know Oriel is in chaos, but I can't help but feel my spirits lift when I see how cute and unafraid it is. Everything's gonna be all right.
There's a black cat? We need to find the black cat.
Oh well.
Where is it? Oh, there it is. I didn't even see the cats.
Meow. Hello there, exile.
Well, I'm glad I checked. Speaking of black cats, I feel like the witch should have one, right? We could do a celestial cat.
Meow.
Right, we're gonna find Bannon in the cathedral rooftop. Meowdy, yeah.
You there! Exile! I am in need of your services once more. Help me!
We just instantly deleted that mini-boss.
Phew. I would thank God for you, my friend, if that weren't too on the nose. I felt for sure that this time it was my turn to depart our world. Kitava's cultists surrounded Lani and I a while back. We split up and I led a distraction so she could make best her escape. Funny, I really should have considered my own plan for evasion once I'd allowed her hers. In any case, it is good to see you again, Exile. Let us talk more in a safer space. I shall meet you back at the docks.
I love this cat, by the way. This celestial cat. It keeps swimming and floating around in midair. Such a good pet. We could go back to the docks and talk to Bannon before we continue, I guess.
Hail, fellow explorer.
Greetings.
Ah, good to see you made it back. You look at me with suspicious eyes. Yes, I know you have your apprehensions about me, and my new indwelling spirit. But if it helps a little, I feel innocence stirring inside me, awakening with an odd sense of gratitude towards you. It was, after all, your bite that returned him to humility, allowed the scales to drop from his eyes.
Oh right, Bannon is...
If you want to go wandering the city in its current state, be careful where you step. Kitava's cultists are constantly on the prowl, actively seeking food for their god. What's worse, the passage to Kitava's feast is blocked off by two large black gates. We call them Kitava's horns, and they are utterly impenetrable to the motions of man. There is but one way in which we can reach Kitava and deprive him of his eternal meal. The staff of Avarius lies somewhere amongst the rubble of the Chamber of Innocence, still billowing with holy power. If you were to find it and return it to me, I believe the power in the staff will act as power enough to break through the horned gates.
I was about to say, Bannon has innocence, a spirit inside him. Look at the Celestial Cat Soul Rend. I think I have that too. I guess it would be under skill effects. Yeah.
Bannon is alive and well. In no small way thanks to you, I would be willing to guess. Without him being here, I would have lost my sanity or my life a long time ago. Take this gift as a token of both our appreciation.
Wow, a flask. What a precious gift.
Now that you have returned, and we have managed to sturdy ourselves once more abreast this mighty ship, I ask of you one more favor. Find that traitor Violenta and kill her. Though I wish to see her dead as revenge for her insurrection, Violenta has become something far worse under the radiation of Kitava's gaze. She must be stopped. for freedom.
Now that the Brine King is nothing but crab meat, his sunken domain, the ancient city of Soartha is ripe for the plundering. My granddaddy once dedicated a good portion of his sailing life trying to hunt down the location of that monolithic city. Then, while he were otherwise indisposed, yours truly tried to follow in his gnarled footsteps, track down the teardrop, a pearl as big as your head, carved with the clues to the city's subaquatic location. I was this close to completing my grandfather's legacy when those damn Templar privateers raided me ship and took off with the teardrop, threw it in their reliquary here in Theopolis. As it were, now's the perfect time to retrieve that dazzling pearl. Think you can nab it for me? I'll make it worth your while. Maybe tick it off the list of things you owe me.
That is cool. I had no idea the teardrop was a map to the Brine King's domain. I always just do the quests, not even knowing what the teardrop actually is.
Good tidings to you. We're a long time ago now. Them privateers took the teardrop, threw it in the reliquary, then took yours truly and threw me in those goddamn slave pens. Far as I can tell, they never did work out what the teardrop was for. Lucky me, I suppose. It was tough, but with the help of a few other undesirables, I managed to find me way out of them pens and into the reliquary. Made an attempt to burgle back what was burgled from me. Boy, did we sure underestimate the size of them guards the Templars had on the place. Only I managed to escape unscathed. My accomplices weren't to be so lucky. They ended up in Ray-classed, much like yourself. Fact, I believe you may have crossed paths. Creighton? Elira? Oak?
Wow. Mind blown. Creighton, Elira, and Oak, all the way back in Act 2, were actually Lily's accomplices when they tried to raid the reliquary to get the teardrop back. So cool.
Every cell-dwelling lad or lass knows of Soartha. They call it a city, but it was more of a slaughterhouse than anything else. Old Salty himself ruled over the place, treating its citizens as morsels from his own personal pantry. Those who weren't devoured outright were picked to try continuous family line. They became fishwives like that pretty young Nessa near ended up being. Well, the Brine King, as you know, was forced into a slumber beneath the ocean, and the city was said to have joined him there as well. A few folk managed to flee from the collapsing coral shards, start new lives for themselves, but I'll be reckoning they left all their valuables behind. Time and tide.
Was a time when the ladies would be begging for a bit of old whalum, but I ain't felt the warm caress of a woman in a long time, and it wounded me dreadful. During me time on the sea, I heard tale of Queen Edzeri and her penchant for using this land as a kind of vault for all her special shinies. One such shiny be her famed love potion, supposed to attract the drinker's ideal mate to their loins, even if that mate be far across the sea. Old Queen Edzeri kept the liquid in the skull of her favorite lover. Them damn Templars probably got their hands on it by now, and the potion's bizarre container has me thinking they probably went and tossed it into the ossuary along with the rest of the bones they got lying around. Exile, be ye the friend I believe you to be, then find the potion for me so that I can experience true love once more.
That's not true love, dude. Alright, so I had no idea the Elixir of Allure was actually a series love potion.
Here our ways divide.
This is another quest that I picked up the item and handed it in without ever reading or listening to anything.
Then it is as I feared. Kitava's strength has grown insurmountable in our absence, and his horns now deny us entry to his feeding trough. Evidently, the hungry god has grown picky about what crumbs now travel towards his burgeoning throat. It is this strength that concerns me. I have spoken with our friend Bannon over there, a willful vessel of my misguided brother. I knew eventually we would need to enlist my brother's services, though I had hoped we need not do so this soon. Yet, it seems that we have no other choice. We must invoke my dormant brother, slumbering within Banon's frame. Kitava's horns are a thing of great corruption, which only Innocence's purity can dispel. Before we proceed, I feel I must confide something in you. Banon wishes me not to speak of it, as he is willing for the sacrifice. However, I feel you should know. Once we invoke Innocence, once we dredge him up from his cocoon inside the soul of Banon, the man shall cease to be. Only the god shall remain. Do you understand what I say, Exile? If we take this path, Banon will die. Excruciatingly so. Burnt with purity from the inside out. As I said, Banon is willing to commit his life to this cause. But perhaps you should say your farewells before we move past the point of no return.
R.I.P. Banon.
Remember, humanity needs us.
I'll see what I can do for you. Back when the cultists took control of the city, the very ground itself shook, as if pained by some dark abomination. The gnarled horns of Kitava erupted from the earth like spiraling pillars of corruption, weaving together a barrier impeding travelers from moving through the city. I wouldn't blame you for being curious about the god now dwelling within me. In truth, I'm honored to have been chosen to be Innocence's vessel. You may hear this and think I sound like a pious Templar fool, but it is hard to remain an unbeliever when the gods walk around you, and indeed one sleeps inside you. No need to fear, however. Our poor purity god surely regrets the actions of his past. I can't see him, but I can feel his spirit, wounded and cowering somewhere inside me. At night, I hear him whimpering over his wounds. I must say you hurt him good, but as much as I feel his pain, I also feel a budding newness in his heart. He is growing again, and relearning the compassion for humanity that he had long since lost.
Let's ask about the Chamber of Innocence as well.
The Chamber of Innocence is exactly where you left it, though cultists and vandals may have had their way with it since last you visited. Innocence himself no longer cares for the place. In fact, I feel a pained revulsion for it, hence why I cannot go myself. But I'm certain you are more than capable of forging a path through that broken temple once again. As I'm sure you've noticed, that damnable god Kitava no longer resides on the rooftops, as last you were here. No. The monster has acclimatized himself to Theopolis. He has set up quite the banqueting table for himself. It appears he believes he has a lot of consumption to catch up on. Best I can tell, his new residence lies through the ravaged Oriath Square and past the canals, now the feeding troughs. Heed my warning, friend. Tread lightly through that area, for those cultists are out and about once more, actively seeking food for Kitava to devour.
Alright.
Innocence blesses your journey.
I think that's all I'm gonna listen to for now. Let's continue our quest. Well, first we need to make it to the square. Make it out of the rooftop. And then we'll see where we go from there.
Oops, clumsy me. When I'm ready, and not before.
Oh, we found a unique strongbox. Desert Storm. I don't think that has any good drops, actually. That's one of the weaker ones.
Nothing can stop me this time.
I'm gonna head up to the ossuary first, I think. Not this way. Wait, there's a mini-boss here that you can... Actually, no, that's in Act 5, isn't it? There's a mini-boss you can only fight before you burn Oriath, I think. She's usually right here.
I love hunting.
Sometimes they use it as one of the challenges for the league.
You will not soon forget.
And if you miss it on your first character, you have to make another character because she's only there before you burn the thing. In fact, isn't that her right here? This mini-boss? Cultist Tract. I hope this is voiced. Oh, no, it's not voiced. But it was written by Uchula. We're gonna look for the elixir of allure in here. There's also a labyrinth trial. Wait, Forgotten Archive. Heretical Tomes. Oh, I think this is related to the Sanctum stuff. I already did it on my first character, if I'm not mistaken. Not really related to the main mission or the main storyline.
When I'm ready and not before.
I'm level 70 in the campaign. I'm a little overleveled. Let's do maximum effective shock. I'll probably respec the tree later on, but for now, that'll do. Famous for her many lovers, those that did not come willing to Utsiri came by liquid persuasion. Ah. That's cheating.
A leader cannot simply stride forward into the future and expect his people to be able to follow. A leader must look over his shoulder so that he can witness and understand the consequences of the path he has chosen. To ensure that his people are still with him, to ensure that he has not become lost.
Just had to get some juicy Izaro voice line in there.
Ya found it! Bless your boots, exile! Me lady problems will be over at last. Let's give it a go then. I feel nothing. Blast it all to the ocean depths! Ruined! Oh, them years sitting around in that damned ossuary, the love's magic fizzled right out of the damn thing. Ah, well, can't blame a man for trying. Anyway, here's a little something for your effort.
How does he know it didn't work?
Always keep your eyes on the horizon. Good to see you still kicking.
Alright, so here are Kitava's horns. We can't destroy them yet. We need to get the Staff of Purity from the Chamber of Innocence. Which I'm going to get right now, but before we actually kill Kitava, we'll do the other side quests as well. The Teardrop and Valenta.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Didn't see any lore objects in that entire zone. Oh well. We'll just burn through the desecrated chambers as well. The last time we were here, the stained glass plaques didn't have any voice acting. And now they're not even here, so that's even worse. Oh, there's one over here. Cultist tract. Oh, okay. Also not voice acted. I almost died. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling a little bit more squishy now towards the end of the campaign. I didn't really improve my defenses since I equipped my gear. Well, that's not true. I got 2 new golems that have some defense. At least one of them does. But other than that, I didn't really upgrade my gear at all since equipping the ring. And I'm not using any defensive auras. Right, we're back in the Sanctum of Innocence. There's a bunch of dead Templars here. Or townspeople also, actually. Just a bunch of corpses. And Avarius, the reassembled. A dark version of Avarius.
Pathetic.
Pathetic, indeed. Worry not for the heathens, they are devoid of soul. Made vessels of wrath, they are damned by holy design. High Templar Avarius. Let's get back to the Ravaged Square. And now let's go for the side quests. Wait, I don't remember if I can go... if I can go this way past the torch courts, or if I have to go all the way back to the large part of the square. I don't think I can get past the courts here.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Nah, okay. My sense of direction fails me yet again. Yeah, we do need to go from the large square area to get to both of those side quest areas. This is where we killed Vilenta earlier. No, not Vilenta, Uchula. We're now heading towards Vilenta. Although we'll probably find the reliquary first. Yeah, there's the reliquary. We'll do that first. Let's find the teardrop. Pearl case. That is one giant pearl. Tignang ya Urgasla to Sortha ya Mekalan. Indecipherable verse. Almost it almost sounds like the Cthulhu mythos, or the language in that. It was pretty undecipherable though.
And not before.
There's quite a bit of Lovecraftian horror in this. Like the Elder. The Elder has a tentacled face. There's a lot of tentacles in general. Maven is also another old god. I don't know how I would go about going through the lore of the endgame, because you don't really experience it all at once in the proper order. I would maybe have to do some editing for that, if I ever get around to it. But I find the Conqueror's storyline pretty interesting, and the Shaper and the Elder stuff as well. As well as Cirrus. Well, that's part of Conquerors, I guess. But right now we're heading to Valenta, the last side quest before we go for Kitava. These breach walls are making the map really confusing. Alright, here we go. I guess the Conqueror storyline was kind of told by exiles of past leagues. Yeah, that's the impression I got as well. The Conquerors are other exiles that have been trapped in the Atlas. But maybe there's more to it if we pay attention. Rip Valenta. Let's head back to town and listen to the dialogue.
You return from your hunt triumphant. Then Valenta is dead. I wish I could say that a celebration is in order, but in our current existence, I've had all I can stomach of banquets and feasts. Here. For freedom.
Exile, you're a giant among men. You got no idea how long I have yearned to have this beauty once more in my hands. The teardrop is surprisingly still in pretty good condition. Not too typical of the baubles them Templars like to steal. We'll stick around a while longer, but once things settle down, my grandfather and I will be setting sail with Sir Arthur firm in our sights.
I wish I could go with them. I want to see Sir Arthur.
Time and tide.
Maybe that's going to be league content for a future league. Would be nice.
I fear I have not been entirely honest with you, my friend. While it is true that this staff can forge a path for us through Kitava's horns, it has the ability to revitalize innocence into waking fully. And that is where the staff's true power resides. In this act, I will become his host in the fullest sense. And together, he and his brother Sin will be able to ally with you against the forces of darkness. I bid you farewell, exile, for where my spirit is set to travel, there is no return. Win this battle. Defeat Kitava. Free our people.
Well, that was quick.
I am reborn. A new god in a troubled land.
Brother, you have seen better days, I am sure. But for now, you must rouse yourself. We have work to do. If ever you wish to make right the wrongs of your past, help me now. As once I asked you in the early days of mankind. Do this for me, and I shall consider our quarrel to be at its end.
Go. Do battle, anointed exile. Though my brother and I will aid you,
I sense the universe conspires for you to be the savior of our world on this day.
Bannon was a man whom I greatly admired, possibly even loved. My heart is grieved to see him depart from us and journey to the home of Hinekora. Yet, he sacrificed himself so that we might live, and stood true to his convictions. This god, this born-again innocence, fills me with unease. Though he appears repentant of his past transgressions, I do not believe he should be forgiven, nor that he should tread this earth any longer than is required. For freedom.
Alright, that's all the dialogue we got here.
Greetings.
All the new dialogue anyway.
Well, aren't you capable and accomplished?
Actually, she has something to say about innocence.
Do you see that? God is here. That's him, incarnate. What's he doing with his brother? Has he somehow reconciled with the original evil? I'm so very confused right now.
Until next time.
I guess innocence was her main god.
Good tidings to you.
Her primary deity.
Time and tide wait for no man.
Alright, it's time. Let's clear the horns.
Bone and corruption shall not impede the path of purity. Go, do battle anointed exile.
No, he already told us that. That's the same voice line as before. We fight our way. This time I will eat his heart. The witch just never stops wanting to eat and taste things. She literally wants to eat Kitava's heart. I do think she's being literal, by the way.
When I'm ready, and not before.
The witch is kind of a dark character. Where's this corpse explosion coming from? Oh, it's this one rare mob. He is tanky as hell. Holy. Eating your opponent's hearts does sound kind of Karui-like. Maybe she says it like a switcheroo on Kitava. Maybe. This is how it shall end. Kitava will rise, and a great cloud of black smoke will cover the sky. The glorious smell of cooking flesh shall entice even the most ardent of unbelievers to the faith, and together we will celebrate and eat at Kitava's table. No, you'll all be eaten by Kitava. The Holy Book of Hunger by High Priest Uchula. Cultists are so incredibly dumb sometimes. Most of the time. I feel like in every single story, the cultists always end up getting eaten by their god. Or sacrificed in some way. Oh, there's a delirium mirror over here. I wanna get the voice line from that too.
You walk through the corridors of madness and into the mouth of death itself. I do believe you finally lost your mind.
Wait, TND off. Damn, it didn't put the voice line in the chat. Something about corridors of madness. Being in a cult could be bad? Yeah.
When I'm ready, and not before.
This is it. It all comes down to this moment to finally put an end to Kitava. Go, exile. Together we will save humankind.
Alright, here we are at the Altar of Hunger. About to face Kitava.
I shall strike you down.
Senescents are here to help us. Oh no, he grabbed Sin. Not even sure what hit me there. Couldn't see. I think we're pretty much insta-phasing him. I don't really need to cast many of these sparks before he's going to the next phase. Not surprising, considering I have 97k DPS right now in the campaign. Oh no, he cannot be slowed. He'll run away. Hey, bastard penguin from hell. Yeah. Better kill him before he runs away.
May a new dawn arise.
Yes. The world kneels at my feet.
Alright, witch. Eat the heart. You've earned it. What? Not hungry anymore?
It's over. We emerge victorious. It was always a fool's errand, yet somehow your courage has carried us through. I congratulate you, my friend. Your world may have exiled you, but there will always be a place for you at my table. You have given humanity a fighting chance. Though darkness still covers the face of the earth, there is now a ray of light to pierce it. The insatiable appetite of Kitava has been ruined, and you are no exile. Why, you are a hero worthy of praise. May your legend live on into eternity. Come, let us return to the others. They will be needing as many hands as possible for cleaning up this city.
I want to talk to Innocence too. Oh, he doesn't have any dialogue here.
It's over.
All right, let's go to the Oriath docks. How's my defense though? Yeah, I'm not overcapped on resists anymore after the penalty that you get after killing Kitabu. So I will have to redo my character, or redo the gear and actually make a proper build after the story is done.
By the light of Ramako, you did it. You, a mortal, have crossed the threshold between God and man and struck the Ravenous One asunder. I'd always held out hope that you would succeed, but at night I would stay awake worrying that perhaps that hope was a foolish dream. But you've done it. You are no longer an exile, my friend. I honor you, and I'm certain the rest of the world will honor you as well.
Innocence. You see now, don't you?
Little brother, please forgive me. It's as if I have been dreaming the most horrid nightmare. And now, at last, the haze of sleep lifts from my eyes. My vision is clear. Oh, by the gods, forgive me.
It is as true now as it was when we began. You and I are of the same flesh, cleaved from the same womb. You ask for my forgiveness. I give it to you freely.
But the things I've done, the countless millions I've murdered.
There will be time for all of that later. But for now, your people need you. Oriath needs you.
No, I cannot remain here amongst these ruins, amongst the corpses of my own making. These people, they need you, brother, and your hero. Not me.
Then what? Where will you go? What will you do?
Isolation. I shall go south. As far south as one can travel in such a fleshly form. There are things I must think on. The redemption I need plan. If my conscience decides I am worthy of such a gift.
You would seek forgiveness in the ice at the bottom of the world.
I would. Should you let me?
Go. Seek out that which you need. Find who you are. Make pilgrimage. Journey on your path, brother. Only return to us one day.
Thank you, brother.
I just noticed they fucked up the audio on this. Both Sin and Innocence's dialogue was coming through my left ear, even though Sin is to my right. It's a minor thing, but it's like both voices came from Innocence, directionally.
You have heard my admission of guilt and my plea for forgiveness. Yet I sense in the glowing embers of your eyes that you will be glad to be rid of me. I don't blame you, mortal. Nor do I begrudge you for your continual anger. The sins I've committed, although bad enough, are made worse by the lens of pride I once viewed this world through. I agree with your judgment. And though I wish never to return from my banishment, I have made a promise to Sin that I shall one day rejoin this world. But until that day, I will remain in the furthest south, in a place of ice and ash, of blistering seas and abysmal storms. I shall meditate on my wrongdoings, until a way of making amends to the millions of lives I have murdered and ruined reveals itself to me.
Alright, Innocence, have fun in your Fortress of Solitude on the South Pole.
Greetings.
Anything new about Kitava here?
Go.
No, that's sold. We already did that.
Fantasy! That bloody sod is gone from our world. Can't tell you how many times I've heard them Karui savages gibbering in fear over that cannibal god. And of course there's there's horror to account for as well. I don't think there's a man, woman, or child in the world that won't be praising your name tonight over a glass of their finest grog. Speaking of which, where's a man to go to find a little fire water around these parts? If you're thinking about dying, trust old Whalem. Don't.
Just checking. I got all the passives, right? Yes. Slash played 12 hours to get through the campaign. That's a bit long, even for me, but we did listen to a lot of dialogue.
You won the day. But you look more than frazzled, witch. Might be time to bury your head in some forbidden occult books for a while. Or whatever it is you do for fun. I know folks like us aren't suited to rebuilding efforts and honest work. Just say the word and we'll sail on out of here.
I'll ask about innocence as well.
Oh, Bannon. I'd stake my bets on being a mighty fine demon in the sack. Can't go wrong with a man in uniform. Only now, he's gone and transformed into that pesky god of light. I gotta believe that the man is still in there somewhere, but finding my way into his bedsheets at this stage is proving more difficult than I first thought. Don't seem to be anything that'll budge him from wherever he's hiding. Not even an enrapturing roll in the hay with this future pirate queen. Seems to me that by letting old innocence take him over completely, it's like a leech sucking the life right out of him. He's gonna lose out on all them lusty joys of this world, and that ain't something I'd ever think fondly about.
Well, Lily and Whalem are clearly cut from the same cloth. The apple didn't fall far from the tree in that one.
Good tidings to you.
That would just make life complicated.
So we end up on the Karui shores. I think we don't even get the introduction to the Atlas on our second playthrough, unfortunately. There's a small storyline where you talk to Kirak and start using the Atlas. But I would have had to start a completely fresh league start in order to get that.
I should have never come back here. That Kirak is a mighty convincing salesman. I spent so much of my life voyaging across the briny deep, looting and pillaging. I never thought I'd end up working as a naval officer for the Citizen Vanguard. They're forgiving my pirating crimes in exchange for helping to build this town, as well as providing trade and transport. It'll be a quiet life, but rewarding in its own way. I'd rather be a seafarer than a foot soldier. Time and tide wait for no man.
But yeah, basically what happens is they call you over to talk to Kirak, and he tells you about the Atlas, which is the end game.
Godslayer.
I guess we could listen to some of his dialogue now, actually. Let's talk about the map device.
The map device will transport you to a land unlike any other. We call that land the Atlas. A formidable, uncharted territory which harbors the greatest dangers man has ever seen. The device itself, or the devices, rather, since we've managed to acquire 3, have a rather long and storied history. As our resident archaeologist, Helena, might know more about that kind of thing.
Oh, Helena knows more about the Atlas. Okay. What about the Atlas?
The Atlas is a grave threat to mankind. A realm unlike any we've seen. It offers up your wildest desires, urging you ever onward into madness and danger. And yet, it may be our greatest defense as well. The Atlas draws the attention of eldritch creatures that would otherwise destroy us without a second thought. It's too dangerous to interact with, but too valuable to be left alone. You can see the position that leaves us in. We used to have the Atlas fully mapped, but it changes, it grows. After recent major events, it completely changed form. We started from scratch at a moment we can ill afford to be blinded. The more you explore the Atlas, the better our chances of survival.
Jokes come a bit late. Was doing Shaper and you can't pause or portal out. Don't get any kryptonite near innocence. Yeah, that was my reference. Also, one interesting thing about the Atlas here. This is a bit meta, but Kirak mentioned that the Atlas changes after certain events, and that's pretty much the explanation for a new Atlas every league. There are major changes to the Atlas. Often maps get moved around, and sometimes they add new mechanics to it, and Kirak has to start over mapping the Atlas again.
Godslayer.
Let's ask about the coming darkness.
Quite a bit has happened in the Atlas already. Suffice it to say, we have it on ominous authority that some unknown they are coming. Judging by the one who gave us that warning, all of Ray-class would be in jeopardy should they take notice of us. It's best for everyone if we draw a hard line in the sand across the Atlas and keep them busy there instead.
The Envoy, that's an NPC that shows up in maps.
He's a strange one. Takes the form of a man. Poorly. I'm not sure what to make of him. He's prone to cryptic speeches, but every word he says has meaning. I suggest you listen closely. We need as much information as we can get if we're going to survive this.
I believe the Envoy talks about Maven and or the Exarch and the other one that I don't remember the name of right now. Zana's plan. Zana used to be the main mapping NPC before Kirak was introduced.
That's the trail.
She used to be the Forsaken Master that gave these Atlas missions, but then she disappeared into the Atlas at some point.
Zana intends to destroy the Atlas? It all makes sense now. The Atlas has caused her nothing but pain her entire life. I can't even begin to recount what she lost. Her father, her childhood, her friends, the man she loved. I'm not sure what the consequences will be if she actually manages to bring the Atlas down, but I understand.
She wants to destroy the Atlas. Egan and the Originator, these are mechanics that were introduced while I wasn't playing the game. That's where you chase after Zana, chase down these memory strands in the Atlas. I still haven't fully completed this stuff, actually. I've done some of it, but I think there's more to this than what I've seen so far.
Long day. A man claiming to be a Caesarius appears out of the blue. I've heard stranger things on this job, but I'll reserve my judgment.
Was that in last league? Okay. I didn't play that one.
So who is the Originator after all? Is it Zana? Working this job, I hear wild new things every day. But it'll take me some time to make sense of this. I like to think we were decently close, Zana and I. And she never mentioned a brother. Or her mother, come to think of it. But Egan has proved he truly does care for her, at the very least. If you get the chance, try to convince Zana to return to us. We could sorely use her aid.
Yeah. So, some of the coolest parts of the endgame, in my opinion, were Shaper and the Elder and the Conquerors. But it's so hard to experience all of that without also doing a bunch of grinding. Like the voice lines and stuff are scattered throughout multiple maps during the progression of the Atlas. And some of them, I guess some of it doesn't really exist anymore either. Some of it's been removed since those bosses aren't the main ones anymore. But a lot of it is still there. At least fragments of it. I remember you used to be able to move the Shaper and Elder Influence around the map by doing maps adjacent to other maps, and then the influence would change. And there was a way to make like a circle of Elder Influence that could never be broken if you only did certain maps. And that was a really overpowered way to get extra monsters in your maps. We called it an Elder Ring. Or an Elder Circle. Anyway, I think we're gonna end this whole campaign playthrough here. Maybe sometime in the future I will do something like this, but for the endgame mechanics, but I'll have to figure out how to actually do it practically. It would probably have to involve more editing than I usually do. Anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube and made it all the way to this final episode, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something about the story. I certainly did. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Alright. I'm ending the YouTube recording there. Bye, YouTube. I'm really happy with how this turned out, though. Like, I probably missed something, or some things, but I think I did a pretty good job of deciphering most of the story.
Good day.
By the way, did they remove Metamorph from maps? Or did I just block it and forget? They removed Metamorph. Is it fully gone?
Good day.
No one liked it? I liked it, kind of.
Tala,
I miss it now that it's gone.
peace to you. Tala,
But Tane is still here.
good peace to you. Good day. Good day.
Catalysts.
In alchemy, some changes are almost instantaneous, while others require patience. It probably comes as no surprise that a profession that pursues such fantastical goals as alchemy does not attract the most patient of people. Thus, the discovery of the catalyst, an additive which accelerates the transformation without influencing it. You might find such an additive useful for seeking out, for example, specific latent properties in certain materials. The sort of thing that could normally take many years. My regards.
They moved Catalyst to Ultimatum. Oh, okay. Ultimatum is a pretty cool mechanic, but I would probably... I'd probably get bored if I was farming it constantly, because it's very samey. It was kind of like having map hacks while mapping. How so? Spread your butter. Did it show stuff on the minimap? I don't remember that.
That would just make life complicated.
Oh, you mean in the original Metamorph where you actually collected organs? I mean, that's been gone a long time. I think maybe they showed on the minimap in the League, Metamorph League. You could be right about that. But that's not how Metamorph was introduced back into the game later. I wonder how strong our character really is. Can it do a map?
I've got some wealth for you.
I feel like we'll probably die in a map. Try Uber Elder, surely. Surely I'll be able to do Uber Elder. We'll try a yellow map. Sure. Un-ID, sure. Hopefully it doesn't give terrible mods.
I think I found a new realm to master.
I found a new realm to master.
Life is too precious to waste.
Yeah, it's time to conquer the Atlas, which...
When I'm ready.
We are dealing enough damage at least. Ooh, should we try a Blight? I just remembered I have a Blight Atlas right now. I have a Blight Atlas with almost all of the map modifier effect and all the Blight nodes.
Well done. Now be a good assistant and find a place to deploy.
Oh, and I don't have Anoints on this either. Damn, I should have anointed Empower and Meteor.
Really do. The blight is trying to spread. It's put out new mycelia.
Maybe Meteors aren't the best when we don't have the Anoint effects. We'll see. I'm probably gonna die to one of the bosses here. The Blight bosses, that is. Maybe not. Ah, okay, maybe. I survived with like a sliver of health. There's something really tanky in there. Alright, we made it. One issue I've always had with Blight is that there's so many clicks to loot the stuff.
And I couldn't have done it without God. I suppose you have some help as well. Don't get a big head. Alas, this is but one of many impure growths. We have much work ahead of ourselves if we are to banish this blight from Rayclast. Since you performed adequately, I believe we should make our partnership ongoing. You'll know where to find me.
Couldn't have done it without God. Are you talking about innocence as well?
The innocence you slew was not the God I
know.
know. My God is selfless, humble. Yes, he is prone to burning sinners, but who among us isn't? You just wait, Exile. Eternity will prove me right.
Oh, maybe it is innocence, but she doesn't recognize that innocence as the correct one. Or his behavior isn't correct for her. She's like, that's not innocence. He wouldn't act like that. Yeah, by the unrighteous. The unrighteous return to ash. And I love having Blight in my maps actually, but I hate the process of looting after a Blight. And also the process of building towers is kind of tedious. I wish they added hotkeys to do that. Somehow. I'm really squishy on this character though. Jeez. Yeah, we're gonna have to fix the builds. This isn't really a build. What I'm using right now is just leveling. Clicking towers can be quite annoying, but if you make a character that's intended for Blight, you'll make a character that doesn't need to do much manual attacking or anything like that, so you can focus mainly on clicking towers while your abilities work their magic. Something like a minion build or a brand build or some kind of auto bomber. Or something where you can just hold down a button. Like, I've bound Spark to Q here. You can hold down Q, for instance, and still click towers while doing so. That's what I've been doing on my Holy Relic character. But it gets really awkward if you want to use the mouse at the same time. So yeah, we already have these unlocked now, which is great. I love not having to repeat these Pantheon vessel captures. This one also had maximum fire as actually. I feel like this should be worth more. 2 to maximum fire res and also gain life per enemy hit with attacks. These are both really good mods. I guess the crit with lightning gives it a bit more, but still, it should be even more. In my humble opinion.
Oh.
But maybe these mods are easy to roll. I'll just list it for 5C anyway.
Hopefully there'll be interest.
Both Blight and Heist have been pretty profitable. I wasn't running Heist, but I was selling all the blueprints. Some of them revealed, some of them not. And it was so easy to get them as well in my easy mode atlas, where I just have all the Heist nodes, and I just quickly clear a map with shrines and boxes. Pick up all the blueprints. Kill everything. But we're moving on to Blight now. I might make another atlas in place of this Abyss one, because Abyss still feels really tedious to me. I don't like that the Abysses often make you backtrack when they go the wrong way. But before I can do any of that, I need to fix this character build. And I think I'm better off doing that off stream, because it's going to be a very boring process. So I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you guys for watching. I will probably be back sometime this upcoming week, maybe with more PoE after I fix the build, or maybe with some retro gaming. We'll see. I have a few retro style games that I wanna play, but I haven't really decided yet whether or not I wanna keep streaming PoE for a while longer. I'll definitely keep playing PoE, that's for sure. And I was also hoping that I'd be able to make a few PoE videos about either Atlas strategies or builds, but... well, actually not builds. I'm not really a build creator. It would more be like a recap of the build's journey and not a build guide in that case. But Atlas strategies, I feel like I can make those on my own. I've always kind of had a knack for figuring out Atlas strategies and stuff like that. Especially for just leveling safely to 100. Which I guess I've already done this league. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll stop rambling now. Have a good rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye for now.